Yeah. What's up with it, everybody? Got a few people in. Glad to see y'all stopping by. As usual, we got this stream is probably gonna get shut down. Go ahead and tell y'all now. Let me know how the sound is going. Sound is good. We're about to get ready to talk about it. Something that I'm very familiar with. We're gonna talk about how to fix this situation. Talk about fake friends. I'm blessed to say that I don't have any. All of my friends are day ones. All of my friends are people who I've grown up with, gone through the ringer with. So, hey man, we're gonna chop it up. My brother Blockavelli, what's going on, bro? How's the sound? Let me know if the sound is off. And then we're gonna go ahead and get ready to cook up. Sound is good. Cool. Appreciate that, brother. We'll let a few more folks trickle on in and then we'll start cooking up. Genevieve Harris, how you doing? I appreciate you joining. This is not gonna be so much about the sister and what happened to her. It's gonna be more along the lines of what she missed. How did she let these people get her in a situation where they were able to take her life, unfortunately? That is what we're gonna cover. But before I went live, I was listening to another content creator. And ain't no knock against the brother. You know what I mean? Ain't no knock against him. He made a comment. He said, "Hey man, everybody over 30," and he was talking about something different. He said, "Everybody over 30 should probably shut the fuck up." And I began to think, I said, everybody over 30 should shut up, huh? Okay. Well, the difference between the guys who are a little bit younger than us and those of us who are around my age range, I'm 39. Guys who are around my age range, our music told us about fake friends, right? Our music told us about this kind of stuff. Oh, you think I'm lying, huh? You think I'm lying, huh? We're gonna check it out.
Be careful. Cause you can't trust these so-called friends out here. They be jealous.
What about your friends? Will they stand they grind? What about your friends? Will they be around? What about your friends? Will they
Yes, sir, brother Blockavelli at 38. Hey, Pimp gonna have to talk to you. Pimp gonna have to talk to him.
But when I took my fall, I found out I really didn't have many friends at all. When I was out there rolling in the Benz and ball, my mama used to get a lot of telephone calls. Niggas trying to see how it was. I had a buzz, but all that shit stopped when I got popped by the fuzz. A couple niggas kept this shit true indeed, but not the ones I used to bail out of jail and feed. We used to smoke weed and get drunk off brew. I went to TDC, nigga, I couldn't find you. You couldn't find me, that's what you told yourself. But you couldn't tell that bullshit to nobody else. When they asked you how I was doing, you told them I was cool. Knowing you ain't talked to me since I went to the pen, fool. No pictures, no commissary money to eat. And now you think it's all good, cause I'm back on the streets. I'm back on these beaches, still blowing in the wind. But these is the niggas that we call friends. What about your friends? Will they stand they grind? What about your friends? Will they be around? What about your friends? Will they let you down? What about your friends? With friends like that, I don't need enemies.
In these streets and these traps, nigga, you better.
Hold up, man. Hey, Pimp. Pimp finna talk to him, man. Hey, Pimp, man, say. Sweet Jane Jones finna talk to y'all. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna talk about fake friends. Because obviously this sister wasn't able to tell, maybe she didn't have somebody in her corner to really give her the game on how to look out for fake friends, right? Now, I'm somebody who prides himself on not having haters. If you hate me, bro, you just don't like me, and I don't know what for. We don't talk, we don't have no dealings with each other, and that's cool with me, right? But in the situation when you're talking about this young sister, and she's interacting with all of these people who obviously had some kind of pejorative attitude or some kind of pejorative outlook towards her, what was she missing? What are some of the signs that she was missing? How did these people finesse her to the point to where they were able to talk her into being outside of the country and having a situation where she ended up losing her life? What we're gonna cover is a couple topics on how you can point out these fake friends and some of the things that you should look for. So one of the first things to consider is they're gonna downplay your accomplishments. They're gonna downplay your accomplishments, bro. So whether it's a work promotion, whether it's you getting a business started, whether it's you getting a new car, whether it's you got a new fit, you got the new J's, whatever the case may be, they're gonna downplay your accomplishment, no matter how big or small. They're gonna figure out some kind of way to downplay your accomplishments. And when this happens, most of this stuff is subconscious. They don't even realize that they're doing it. But if you know what to look for, then you know which people to steer clear of. That's one of the telltale signs. And remember, no matter how big or small it is. And also, when this stuff happens, don't take it upon yourself to try and make excuses for them. Don't say, oh, that's just how they are. Nah, man, especially if you got plans to really accomplish something, these are some of the things that you have to look for. I'm pretty sure when they got on that plane or when they got inside of that hotel room, that's not something that she was thinking. She probably had an idea that, hey, man, they really, they kind of funny acting, right? We throw that around a lot. They may be kind of funny acting, but nah, bro. If you really got plans to really take your shit to the next level, look for that. They're gonna downplay your accomplishments. Not each and every time, but if you know what to look for, they're gonna downplay your shit every chance they get. So let it be something big. They're really gonna downplay your accomplishments, all right? And we're just talking about some of the things to look for, some of the things that I wish somebody would have told his sister before she put herself in a situation to be taken out the game. Michael J said they would not say anything. You'd be surprised. They're not going to come out directly and tell you, and I'll drop the link here in a minute. They're not going to come out directly and say, hey, man, I hate the fact that you got a promotion. I hate the fact that, I don't like you in them new J's. It's not going to come out like that. It's going to come out, it's going to be more along the lines of, okay, yeah, them all right, but I can't wait till the such and such has come out. And I'm talking about shoes, just using this as an example. They're not going to come out and say, oh, man, you went and got them J's, them hoes ugly. They may. But they'll look at them, they'll be like, oh, yeah, they straight, but the such and such has come out, they killing them. So they will say something. They may not come out and directly tell you, but they will say something. They will absolutely say something. Ask me how I know. Ask me how I know. You move up, you get your promotion at the job, they be, oh, man, you company. Oh, man, look at him, he company now. Oh, man, oh, you company now, ha, 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 ha. What, you got your shirt tucked in now? Oh, man, I'll check him out. He think he woo, woo, woo. This is the type of shit they gonna do. Man, listen to what I'm telling you, bro. You're talking about somebody. For those of you who don't know, I'm Wrench Turner, one of the moderators for the late, great Kevin Samuels. I've been on some of your favorite YouTubers. I've worked with some of your favorite YouTubers, to name a few before they blew up. Black Heights, right? Antoine Wade. Keep It Techie, one of the brothers I've worked with. O'Shea Duke Jackson, I've been on his show twice. That's my brother. I shoot him a text every now and then. Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews, before he took off, we all used to do a show together a couple years ago where we would talk about industry and we would talk about the professional sector, and we would talk about how to smash the gas on the professional part of your life. What's good, man? You was a mainstay in them panels. Hey, man, I appreciate you being there, Jeff. I appreciate it, brother. Yes, sir. You know who your friends are when you winning. Absolutely. And one of the things that, culturally we have this thing where we want to save everybody. And I get it. You know what I'm saying? If you're one of those people who is a student of history, I know that culturally we've been through a lot. We've been through a lot, but what I can also tell you at the end of the day, bro, you don't owe nobody shit. When you make it to where you're trying to go, or you start to progress towards where you need to go to, you don't owe nobody shit, bro. You don't owe anybody. You don't owe it to anybody to slow down. You don't owe it to anybody to put your wants and needs on the back burner. You got to prioritize yourself if you ever hope to help anybody, bro. A bunch of broke motherfuckers can't help shit. Even if you are going to help, bro, the people that you help, they should either be in your immediate circle or you should be helping them with a long handle spoon, as the old people used to say. You should be helping them with a long handle spoon. That is the formula. Because at the end of the day, most of them will want your position. And ain't no telling what they would do to get your position, bro. When you have a meteoric rise or you really on the ground, bro, you really don't have any kind of room for detractors, for naysayers. You don't. A lot of these people would do shit to you, man, that you couldn't imagine. Keep your circle tight. Now, you want to make sure you have a really good network, but you want to keep your circle tight. Keep your circle tight. Saw you in Kevin Samuel's chat. You have a unique name. Absolutely, Genevieve. So it's a funny thing about that name. I may get into it during this stream, but I appreciate you being here, Genevieve. Absolutely. I'm honored to have you here. A lot of people, man, when they see me on different channels and different panels and stuff, I had a guy tell me, it was me and some other guys on another channel, and he said, hey, man, who are these random guys showing up? Who are these random people showing up? And I thought to myself, man, you have no idea. Behind the scenes, and sometimes even through Super Chat, man, I'm pretty sure if I went back and pulled all of my Super Chats, I've donated thousands of dollars to brothers, some sisters, but mostly brothers, content creators, who are pushing the message. And we're pushing the message of whether you're a white-collar guy, whether you're a blue-collar guy like me, whether you are a super high earner, whether you are a Henry, I can relate to those guys. And even now, I really don't mention it too much because the minute somebody find out that you make a certain amount of money or you're in a certain tax bracket, that's another reason to start hating. I experienced that a couple of weeks ago on another panel. So a lot of times I don't even tell these niggas what time it is. I just be like, hey, bro, I'm just here. But just know, I got a lot of skin in the game over here. I've been doing a lot behind the scenes for the last couple of years. Just so happened to come out and show my face. I really want to get a good look at y'all. My brother say them OJs, the backstabbers. Yeah, man. Yeah. I do this because I hope that a lot of people would take what it is that we talk about. A lot of us, man, and I'll say this is on my platform. I'll say it. A lot of us brothers that earn a shit ton of money, they earn a lot of money. You work so much. You do so much work. The very way that your mind works is to stay ahead of the curve. So in the process of staying ahead of the curve, I really don't pay attention to a lot of social media. I really don't pay attention to a lot of what's going on as it relates to celebrities. That's really not my purpose of being here. My purpose for being here is to really try and give back and to really try to have a way to talk to the brothers who hope to come along in our footsteps. So if you're somebody who is able and you want to go salary, I'm probably the guy that you should talk to, right? You can book a consultation. And when I say book a consultation, I'm not talking about something that's going to hurt your check, but what I'm saying, I need to know who's serious. I had a brother behind the scenes, and this is kind of how this came about. A brother behind the scenes reached out via email. We talked for a little bit. I reached back out to him. I said, hey, man, did you put some of that stuff in place? Oh, no, man. I was talking to my homeboy, and bro, the time that I spent talking to you through email, going back and forth, bro, I could have been doing something else. My time is valuable, bro. Even doing this, I have a headache right now, but I'm like, bro, it's worth it. We got to talk about this. Because we talk about growth all the time, but we don't talk about some of the pitfalls that you're gonna run into. We don't talk about some of the shit you're gonna face from people that look just like you and I. I've yet to have a white man jump out of my bushes. I've yet to have that happen. Most of the issues that I would run into would be people that look like me, brothers that look like me, older sisters that look like me. I've yet to have a white dude pop up out of my back seat, crawl out of the bushes, roll from underneath my truck. It just don't happen. Shout out to AV to the seventh power. Shout out to that good sister. Long live St. Kevin. Long live St. Kevin. I'm gonna put some of it up because I want to make sure that y'all are acknowledged. Much respect, Michael J. Hey man, I appreciate you being here, bro. You know, I said something a couple of streams back. I told y'all that, and this was maybe a year ago. I said, hey man, every chance I get, I'm going to try and upgrade on my equipment, and that is what I have done. If you haven't noticed, that is a new camera. Hopefully it's a little bit more clear. I wanted to make sure that I pump that money right back into the platform to make sure that I give you guys some quality content. The minute I said, this is a funny thing too, because I can see how many people are watching. The minute I said that a white guy has never jumped out of the bushes or rolled out from underneath my car, the stream dropped down. So let me explain something to you. And let me explain to you my background. I can remember people talk about growing up in the 90s. I'm from Dallas, Texas. Right now I go between two states. Right now I'm in Texas for vacation. But let me explain something to you of how I came up with what I'm talking about right now. Everybody talk about growing up in the 90s. I grew up in the 90s in the height of the crack epidemic in a large metropolitan city, Dallas, Texas. One of the main distributors in the country at that time was a guy named Dudas Coker. Dudas Coker was the leader of the Shower Posse. The Shower Posse had little factions all over the country. They started in New York and they just spread like wildfires. Well, they had one in Dallas. The distributors for Dudas Coker and the Shower Posse were friends to people in my family. Now, being a kid growing up in the projects, I can vividly remember being at Keys Park, seeing Monte Carlos, Cutlasses coming down the boulevard. I can remember the smell of the hydraulic fluid when these cars were hitting switches. I can remember the music. I can remember how people would dress. I can remember what the energy felt like. So when I come to you and I say that there's no white man jumping out of my bushes keeping me from doing anything, any type of hiccups that I've had have been for people that look like me. You're talking about somebody that is of the culture, that comes from the culture, that comes from this through and through. And up until 15 years ago, I was immersed in the culture. So I'm not talking to you as somebody who's square and don't know shit. I'm not talking to you as somebody who hadn't been around the block a few times. I'm not talking to you as somebody who hasn't flipped his existence around and do something a lot different now to try to undo some of the damage that I probably have done. All right? If you want to put it in a way that you can understand, you're talking to a real nigga. And that's not something that I pride myself on, but I want to make it clear as we sit down and we have these conversations. And a lot of times, you know, we hear YouTube is not real. YouTube is not real. To a certain extent, that's true. But I was listening to Anton yesterday morning, Anton Daniels, and I've seen how some of the brothers interact with him. You're talking about a guy who's a bona fide millionaire coming out, giving out game, and you got regular average ass dudes trying to beef with him. Make that shit make sense. AV, yes ma'am, we wrenching, sister. You missed the first part, but we're gonna really lay it out because a lot of them they don't believe that us cats from the 90s really know nothing. They're like, hey man, y'all need to shut up and you know y'all really know what y'all talking about. See, but when I was growing up, our OGs were not only in the streets, but our OGs used to put it on wax. Oh, y'all don't believe me, huh?
Anyway, it doesn't matter much how you feel. You know what you gotta do. I'm here to do it. How about you, mister?
Age 5 years up, we was young bucks scrubbing each other's back in the bathtub. Babysitter send you to bed, but she'll make me stay up so she can give a young player some vicious head. Early symptoms of the time of night ranking, gigantic factor from the Coquina's bridge changed. Some had it all down, but less unfortunately. You had an alloy spoke mongoose and I had a huffy. You owned a green machine, 3 different lunch pails. I had a go-kart that I built from a bunch of used.
Hey, man, y'all better listen. Listen to what he's saying.
Sunday school. Now I heard that you off into jacking, nigga. That ain't even cool. I used to be Conrad and fucked around and went bad. Walking up on the wrong tree, talking about running up in my
Niggas have hateful thoughts, but they can't stop me from striving. Suckers be shaking soft. All in this game falsifying. Some fools be getting crossed. Victims of faultiness. Man, all that drama you come with, I swear you're off some shit. Whether it's morphine or cocaine, doja or dog food that had these marks betraying Max, fucking off my high-breaking rules. You got your P's mixed up. You ain't no pimp, you's a phony. I spit for major mints. While you make taste for your homies and then you work up the nerve to speak foul words. The pimp betrayers be instigators. Is why I wrote this verse. For every youngster with his mind on his meal. Young player, just chill and take a look at what these fakers call real.
I trust no man, cause man will let you.
Man, hold up. Hold up. Hold up. I don't think they realize it. I don't think they realize it. I still feel some type of way. I still feel some type of way, man, that this dude came out and said that old Wrench Turner, who was these rejects? He called me a reject. Imagine that. He called me a reject. I done spent thousands of dollars supporting brothers. Call me a reject. Huh. Imagine that. My sister AV done put it on the wood. Hey, sister, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. AV is for those of you who don't know, not to get sidetracked, make sure you go over to this sister's channel, man. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe on her channel. Make sure you turn the notifications on. AV comes out of the St. Kevin camp also, right? She had a professional relationship with Kevin Samuels too. Make sure you subscribe to AV to the 7th Power. Make sure you do that for me. Puts out a lot of great content, breaks down a lot of cases. So that is absolutely somebody that we want to support, right? My brother said that the music is a little low. Oh, don't worry about it. There's some more coming, brother. I got you covered. I'm gonna make sure that we put a little bit more sound to it. I just didn't want to drown everything out. But if you could tell me how this music sound, because at the end of the day, as you're growing and you're figuring out what your friend circle look like, the soundtrack should probably go a little bit like this.
Run that shit up, Cash. Hey, crack. When a brother
need cash on you then.
If you my dog, then nigga my dog, and we don't get money together. You go through a trial, you ducking the laws, and fucking we ducking together. She getting wild and you kill a nigga, we bury and shovel together. I got you forever and ever. I got you through every endeavor. If you my dog, then nigga my dog, and we don't get money together. You go through a trial, you ducking the laws, and fucking we ducking together. She getting wild and you kill a nigga, we bury and shovel together. I got you forever and ever. I got you through every.
Hey, that's facts, Deaf Man Jeff. Facts.
Fucking with you through whatever, whenever, cause we were freezing in the cold, my nigga, and we was starving in the desert together. And you was quick to pull a dassy whenever, so I was quick to pull a lever whenever. And we was down to bust maneuvers if you pump fake, and we blocking the heavy together. I'm whipping the 4 and the 5, my nigga, these bitches blowing, going live, my nigga. We came up out of situation, niggas saying we was supposed to cut the ties with niggas. And I was trying to coincide with him, but he tripping, so I let the 9 hit him. If he tripping on me, I can lie with him. Moving different on me, I should slide on him, nigga. I don't take no pills, how the perk I pitch, got a tease on me, I've been ducking holes in the D's.
We got my brother Black Shred. We got my brother Black Shred on the stream, man. As always, dropping gems. I'm gonna drop the link too. And what I'm looking for when I drop the link. Hold up, Tori. Hold up, Tori. Hold up, Tori. Hold up. Hold up, Tori. Hey man, listen, I don't think y'all understand some of the pitfalls that you're gonna run into. People that you think love you, man, people that you think are supposed to be in your corner. People that you think are supposed to be in your corner, man, your accomplishments, they won't be able to take it. From what I understand, this sister had businesses, right? She was doing well for herself. And you hear it a lot of times, people say it's lonely at the top. Hey man, it's lonely at the top. It's lonely at the top. What do they mean? What do they mean by it's lonely at the top? And the cold thing about it is top is subjective. You may not even be at your top, but you may have maxed out where other people feel like they can get to. I'll give you an example. So just say, I'll give you an example. We're gonna use a small example. So just say you make it to $20 an hour. You make it to 20 bucks an hour. You're like, oh shit, I'm at 20. Let me try to get to 25. Somebody who's making 10 may be sitting, damn man, why him and not me? Why him and not me? I train people all the time and I tell them the same shit. Hey man, listen, when you come into this, you should look like a leader. Otherwise, the people are gonna look at you and say, hey, why him and not me? You're gonna have a hard time gaining any kind of ground. Hard time gaining any kind of ground. The Sister Genevieve said, it's sad we don't respect accomplishments, only hate and envy. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, part of leadership and part of being a good leader is knowing how to deal with it. You got to let a lot of it roll off. But what I'm talking about is even in the process of letting that stuff roll off of your shoulder, you never forget. You never forget the ones who kind of had that pejorative attitude or that pejorative perspective towards you. You never forget it. Because the truth of the matter is, what's jealousy today might end up being envy may end up being envy tomorrow. And then no telling what somebody will do to you when they envy you. That's the cold part about this. It's the cold part about this. What are some of the other things that that falls into the anatomy of a fake friend? A lot of times, these people are going to be the first ones to run to you with bad news. Somehow, some way, they always know the bad news about you before you ever hear about it. These are supposed to be your friends. They always got the bad news about you. And the question that you should be asking yourself is, goddamn, bro, how you know? Why you always got the information? Why are you always the one that is able to come to me and tell me some bad news, bro? If you my people. How the young cat say, oh, you over there talking to the ops? I don't even use no term. I ain't got no ops. Long live Jelly. Long live DeMarcus Hood. My homeboy DeMarcus Hood got killed last year. Brother was doing well for himself. He told me if a dude don't make what I make, he can't beef with me. I took that and ran with it. The dude that killed him is a YouTuber. They was beefing online. This dude is a YouTuber. Met in person, took him out the game. Dude hadn't accomplished a fifth of what my homeboy had accomplished. Dude was sitting back watching. My homeboy was posting videos on the platform. This other dude sitting back looking at him, looking at all of the nice motorcycles he had, looking at his nice home, looking at his Mercedes. Dude was married to a fat chick. My homeboy had a nice little old baddie. I'm gonna move this microphone out the way. My homeboy had a nice little old baddie. This dude watched my homeboy have a comfortable life. First chance he had, took him out the game. Took him out the game. Somebody who was an admirer turned hater. Took him out the game. This just happened last year. Bro, if both of us are making over 100,000, bro, how are we beefing with somebody in the street that probably barely even touched 50? If that. This is how cold the game is, man. So when we talk about the anatomy of a fake friend, oftentimes they're going to be the bearer of bad news. Your light is shining brighter than theirs. They don't like that shit. Don't know how to take it. Have too much pride to come to you and say, hey, man, I see you doing things. I see you kind of making moves, bro. If you have a minute, I like to at least, I like to at least pick your brain. I like to at least pick your brain to figure out what it is that you're doing so I can kind of take some of that, put it into my own little old program and make something shake. Man, to sit down and have a conversation like that takes for you to, you can't have any kind of hate in you. You can't have any kind of hate in you to move that way. We got my brother Condemned in the building. What's going on, brother? What's going on, brother? Glad to see you here. I'm not going to be on for too long. I know some of our favorite YouTubers are live right now, and I'm not going to take too much of y'all time. But I think with this sister and what she's going through, God rest her dead, what she's gone through, there were probably some red flags that she missed. Some red flags that she could have, if she had somebody really giving her some game, or she had some solid people in her corner, they probably would have told her, hey, man, them folks that you with, Winter and them, that ain't it. They ain't it. Especially not enough to be going out of the country with. Bro, imagine going out of the country and getting jumped by the motherfuckers that you went with. See, the game is cold, man. The game is cold. But we're gonna keep on moving along. What are some of the other things that you can that you look for in the anatomy of a fake friend? Huh? I think I just talked about it. They never seek your advice. They'll never seek your advice. See, me and my homeboy, my closest partner, we sit on the phone for 3 hours. And what we talk about is the next level. What we talk about is the next level. We bounce ideas off of each other, right? We bounce ideas off of each other. I got a homeboy that whenever he has a question about anything, he reach out. Hey, bro, I want to run this by you. Hey, bro, I want to see what you thought about this. And for me, as his big homie, as his homeboy, the burden is on me to provide him with the best possible information that I can give him. My brother Black Tread, I've said it on more than one occasion, my brother Black Tread, man, he'll hit me up, hey, bro, check this out. He'll shoot me a link, hey, bro, check this out. Copy me on the post, hey, bro, check this out. Hey, and I saw that 57 Bel Air, too. I saw that. I already had it in my favorites, but I saw that. I appreciate you, bro. See, these are the type of conversations that I have with my homeboys, man. And my homeboys are like family. I've been knowing them for years and years and years. Our parents and grandparents grew up together. We've been knowing each other for a long time. So if I go out of the country with them, bro, I have no worries. I ain't got to hide my wallet. None of that. These people are like family, bro. We know each other. We know each other. Our families know each other. Love these dudes. If that's not the dynamic, bro, you probably can't even ride to the store with me. I don't want no smoke. But I wish somebody had broke it down to this sister because obviously she thought she was safe, went out of the country with these people. And unfortunately, look at where it got her. But maybe if she was listening to some of that Pimp probably could have talked to her. But y'all don't know what I'm talking about unless you was here early in the stream. But I'm going to go ahead and remind you.
Be careful. Because you can't trust these so-called friends out here. They be jealous.
What about your friends? Will they stay and they cry? What about your friends? Will they be around? What about your friends? Will they let you down? What about your friends? With friends like that, I don't need enemies.
With friends like that, I don't need enemies. With friends like that, I don't need enemies. My brother said it's that Color Supreme music. Boy, say you ain't never told a lie. You ain't never told a lie. Genevieve, I will explain something to you, sister. I'm going to highlight your comment. Writing down your points. I'm 60 and still got to be careful. Absolutely. Absolutely. See, the dangerous thing about it for you is at the age of 60, you have so much knowledge, so much wisdom, so much game to give not only men, but to give a lot of women. And the way that things are going right now as a society, before someone sits down and says, hey, Miss Harris, you know, I wanted to run something by you. I'm pretty sure you've been through this. I want to run something by you. How would you handle this situation? Or whatever your profession is, if they say, you know what, I really would like to do that. Instead of sitting down, coming to you with a humble spirit and saying, hey, Miss Harris, I really would like to know how to get into whatever your industry is. Instead of doing that, they would probably try to take from you. I'm not going to go over there and ask her nothing. She don't know what the hell she's doing. Even when you got the results that say that you do. even when you have the lifestyle that say that you do. Unfortunately, before people will humble themselves and come to you and have that conversation, they would talk bad about you. I can't name how many times people have come to me with just negative information, negative rumors, negative lies, stuff. I mean, complete fabrications. But the beautiful thing about it, and I learned this a little bit later on in life, the beautiful thing about it is I was blessed with a beautiful mind, and I'm just now really learning how different that it is. I don't know where it came from. I know that I was innately born with it, and I'm not saying that like I'm more special than anybody. I just have a way of thinking about things that have allowed me to be really comfortable in life. That's the best way that I can explain it. To all the brothers who know me personally, man, y'all know what I'm talking about. I just figured that out, but I'm slowly realizing how different that is. But I appreciate you taking notes, Miss Harris. So to break it down, first thing they're gonna do, they're gonna downplay your accomplishments. That you know, when you make strides and when you make gains, they're gonna downplay it. So those are some of the things to look for. And this is the trick bag of it. This is the cold part about it. Some of these people may be your family. Not saying that they would do anything, they're not gonna hurt you or whatever, but some of these people will be your family. And as you progress and as you move forward, you even got to cut some of them off, unfortunately. Even though you want to enjoy the fruits of your labor with them, sometimes you got to cut them off also. That's the sad thing about it too. And for us culturally, that's tough. But the number one thing is they're gonna downplay your accomplishments. Number two, they're gonna be the bearers of bad news. Oftentimes they're gonna always have some bad news. And in your mind, keep a little counter and check the ratio of bad news to good news. Why do they always have bad news to give you instead of some good news? Like, goddamn, man, this is all you got is just negativity. See, the beautiful thing about that is when people are grinding just like you are, or they are really in the mix, they really moving and shaking. They understand the negative effects of bad news, so they're not gonna bring too much to you. And if you're not hearing a lot of bad news from your friend group, then you probably got the right friend group. When you got the wrong one, all they have is negative information, whether it's about in the family, whether it's about other friends, mutual friends, in the news, it's always something negative. You want the ones that are going to call you, hey man, I got this going on, it's looking real good. Those are the ones that you want to talk to. Those are the ones that you really want to bounce ideas off of. Right? So doubling back, they'll downplay your accomplishments. Oftentimes they're the bearers of bad news, and they always share negative information about. That's number three. They always share negative information about you before you do. That's another one. Yep. Want what you have and not know how to get it. Hey man, you preaching. You preaching. Hey, Miss Harris, you preaching. Want what you have and not know how to get it. You know the cold part about it is that you would actually tell them. All they got to do is come sit down, have a conversation with you. But that spirit, that hate spirit inside of them won't let them do that. I'm pretty sure if the people that were there and watched that young sister lose her life, I'm pretty sure if they got with her and said, hey, I got 2,500, I got 5,000, I want to try to get something going. What do you think? I don't even know this sister. I didn't know Miss Robinson, Shanquella, but I've yet to run across somebody who is a business owner or who is making moves. Somebody come to them and say, hey, I have 2,500, I have 1,500, I got $1,000, man. I want to figure out how to do something with this. What are your thoughts? See, because when you got the right friend group, you got the right network, those are the kind of conversations you can have. See, it's hard to go to somebody with 2,500 who ain't got shit and ask them how to make something shake. Hard to do that. And if you don't have those kind of friends, then bro, start making changes to start switching up your friend group. Because what it means is you the mark. If you're the only one that got money to move and shake, you the mark. You the mark. Got my brother Black Tread. He say, "Oh, that's a little slick shit, playing it off as a joke." Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And see, bro, you know where we from. You know, we already know what time it is. But yeah, you're right. That's a little underhanded shit. That's one of them. That's matter of fact, that's one of the bullet points that I have. They'll do a little dry hate. They'll dry hate. They'll dry hate. A comedian back in the day had a joke where he would say, whenever somebody want to downplay what you're doing, they would put "lil" in front of it. Oh man, I see you got your little, or you got your little Impala. Oh, I see you went and got your little motorcycle. Oh, okay, I'm like, okay, I see you went and got your little house. I always put "lil" in front of it. But these are like little subtleties, man. For as silly as it sounds, I wish somebody would have really broke it down to that sister so that she would know, hey man, you really walking into a burning house, man. Like going overseas with these people or going to another country, I'm sorry, with these people ain't the way. These are not your friends. And you shouldn't be getting on a plane with associates like that anyway. Work trip, yep. Work trip, cool. You know, a lot of our songs have a lot of hidden messages in it. What did Lil say? I got to watch my body because I'm not just anybody. If you got broke people saying that, and if you halfway got a little something, don't you think you ought to watch your body? You're not just anybody. The cold part about it is we don't see ourselves as anything special. But you got to realize where you are. You got to realize the folks that are around you. You got to realize how you moving. You got to realize who have eyes on you. You got to realize who have eyes on you and you don't have eyes on them. But that's one of the reasons why you have to insulate yourself with people who love you and people that you love. And I'm not necessarily talking about family. I'm talking about people who want the best for you, people who are going to try to help you, people who are going to bring good ideas, people who are going to come to you to seek advice, put that advice in action. That's what I mean. You have to try to insulate yourself with people who really want to see you do well. And it's not always the easiest thing to do because a lot of times you want to be a resource to people, but everybody's not going to make it. Everybody's not going to make it and everybody can't go, unfortunately. Everybody's not going to make it and everybody can't go. There's not enough room. Now, the fun part is when everybody's on the same wavelength and you're working towards it. And when you get tired, you have that guy next to you that can recharge your battery and help you get there. That's a beautiful thing. But it's hard to, I'll use 100,000 as the mark. It's hard to break 100,000, bro, pulling dead weight. It is difficult. And I can imagine it's hard to pass 500,000 pulling dead weight. And it's hard as hell to crest 1,000,000 pulling dead weight. Man, I had to distance myself from family members. A couple of them hit me with that little shit, and I knew what time it was right there. Yeah, bro. Now, the fact that I called it out and you knew exactly what I was talking about, it goes to show you, bro, we all have the same experiences. We all have a lot of the same experiences. I see you with your little such and such. Even sometimes when you get a significant other, oh, you and your little girlfriend or you and your little, say, God damn, bro. I when I think back, bro, I can't recall myself ever doing anything like that. Ever. Ever. There are times when I see situations that may or may not play out, and I don't say anything because I don't want to sound like a hater. And if you want my advice, I'm somebody that's open enough where, bro, you can get on the phone with me, you can shoot an email, you can call and bounce ideas off of me, and I'll give you my honest opinion based on the knowledge that the good Lord has blessed me with, or experience that I've had, or experiences that I've had. But yeah, bro, distance yourself from them. You know what I mean? You pray for them and you hope that they'll come around. But when you're grinding hard and you're on the ground and you're trying to get there, bro, it makes it exponentially more difficult to get to where you're trying to go when you got family members who are kind of throwing tomatoes at you the whole time. Makes it way more difficult. Way more difficult. I don't know if y'all can tell the difference, but this new camera is really doing what it's supposed to do. It look like I can film a Tyler Perry movie when I finish with the stream. My brother condemned you. Oh, you got a little job now. Yeah, you got a little job now. Oh, I see you got your little post office job. Oh, I see you got your little job at FedEx. Oh, they probably ain't paying you that much. How much they paying you? They really don't pay that much. Such and such son work over there. He say they don't get no hours. You see what I'm saying? This type of shit, family members and shit do to you. People that's supposed to be your friends, people that's supposed to be in your circle, people that are supposed to be in your corner. These are the type of things that they do. Oh, I see you got your little job now. Don't have no punks in your family. And if you are of the Rainbow Coalition or Alphabet community, it ain't nothing personal. But you might get laughed at over here, not because you are Mark, but you know how I go. My bro said, you spot on. Yeah, for real, bro. They hit you with that. Well, they ain't paying that much over there. They don't be getting no hours. Virgil's nephew work over there. I don't know if he's still over there. He unload trailers. He said they don't pay nothing. No shit, he unload trailers. Fuck, ain't got no advice from nobody. Shit. Bro barely made it out the 8th grade. We remember him. Shit. Virgil Wayne's son. Glenda Jean's oldest baby work over there. I think she work in the lunchroom. She say they don't get no hours over there. What kind of game can she give you? The hell? That's what I mean by a lot of that shit is noise, bro. And when you really trying to go for what you know, there's no room for that. My brother Dark Man Jeff, I'm to the point that I don't share what I have going on anymore. A lot of family members I know aren't on my level. I just be on that high and by status. Yeah, bro. You ain't gotta hate them. You ain't gotta have no ill feeling towards it. But I'll be honest, you know, when you get to where you're going, or as you really start to pick them up and put them down and put one foot in front of the other, bro, that should have hurt your damn feelings. That the people that should be cheering you on the hardest or cheering you on the most, that should have hurt your damn feelings, bro. It hurt your feelings, bro. But even then, still stay the course. Don't let nothing pull you away from your course. Don't let nothing stop you, bro. Don't let nothing stop. My own kids can't stop me from what I'm trying to accomplish. Because at the end of the day, it's gonna benefit them. But it ain't too much they can do to stop me. See, you got people agreeing with you, bro. Shout out to my brother Condemned You. Condemned You is a part of that Kevin Samuels, part of that Kevin Samuels group too. I see my brother on a lot of panels supporting across the board. Glad to see you, brother. Sad part is that our community is programmed to hate on our own, especially when someone makes it out. When we came up in the same conditions. Bro, that's a whole word. I'm gonna read that again. The sad part about our community, the sad part is that our community is programmed to hate on our own, especially when someone makes it out when we came up in the same conditions. That go back to what I was talking about, Black Tread. That is that why him and not me, or why you and not me, right? My brother went to college. My brother Black Tread got his degree. Nobody knows how many hours it took to study to get that degree while being an athlete. Nobody knows what it took to even get into the university that he went to. But will have the nerve to say, why you and not me? Instead of pulling them to the side, hey, Black Tread, man, listen, I know you already got your degree, bro. I've been thinking about getting mine. How do I do that? Or, hey, I know that you do X, Y, and Z. I've been thinking about doing that too. I wanted to pick your brain on something. For whatever reason, we have a problem being humble, man. And I don't see that out of many other groups. We have an issue with being humble. We have an issue with picking each other's brains. We have an issue with providing information. Like, damn, bro, me providing you information is not going to hurt me none. That's the way I look at it. That's the way my people look at it. We bounce great ideas off of each other. Excellent ideas off of each other. You know, matter of fact, if y'all listening, in home number 2, there's some apartment complexes out there for sale. So don't be surprised if I shoot y'all a link. Maybe a long-term play. But that's neither here nor there. Or how a guy once told me, between me, you, and that light post over there. You see they down, you offer support, they can't take it from you. Absolutely. Absolutely. We got my sister Lady S in here, man. Happy Thanksgiving, Rich, and everyone. So good to see you, sister. I've seen you on some of the other panels supporting and being a part of the conversation. It is glad to see you here. I know I rarely go live, man. I'll be working. I'll be I'll be working, man. But I wanted to make sure I got on here and made sure I dropped some game. And we're gonna jam before we go out, man. That UGK was jamming a little too hard. That Pimp C and that Project Pat. Miss Harris, I'm in Barbados, working class. If you got an extra 20, keep it to yourself. I learned early to shut the fuck up. Hey, you know, the sad thing about this is it's universal. Even in whether you're in Dallas, Texas, like me, whether you're in Louisville, Kentucky, where I spent some time at, whether you are in Barbados, whether you're in Sarasota, Florida, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, South Dakota, this shit is universal. That's the cold part about it. It's universal, and it's sad. It's sad, man. That so many of us, before we would humble ourselves and have that conversation, would prefer to take. But even in Barbados, being working class, of all the places that you could be, you over here with us, and I'm glad to have you here. I'm gonna tell y'all something that kind of disgusted me with the internet that happened. Now, when we talk about red pill content, I get it. There's absolutely a disconnect between black men and black women. And I think a big part of that is we're kind of going through this time and age where we have so much information. I think we have more information than a lot of people's brain can process. I think we have a lot more information than a lot of people's brains can process. So what's happening is you have the people who really understand and know how to process this information, pick and choose what they're allowed to get into their mental, and then they kind of take it from there. There's another group, and there's a lot of them, who take in all of this information, and unfortunately, it makes them feel like the world is too much to bear. And so by the time they get online, or by the time they put up a post, or by the time they start to move in their real life, these are people who absolutely need to sit down and talk to somebody. And it's on both sides. Now, I'm a red pill guy. I'm a manosphere guy. I got my start in the manosphere. So I understand that there is a serious disconnect, and I think that the work that is being done is absolutely necessary. But I want to say something and I want to be extremely clear about it. Even with the disconnect that is happening between black men and black women, men and women in general, under no circumstances is the death of that sister to be celebrated. I can't think of a single circumstance where that sister's death should be celebrated. Nobody should be taking delight in it. It's not something to make a joke out of. Because you can go to my page, you can look at my shorts. I'm all for a good joke. When sisters do something crazy, I'm gonna call it out and I'm gonna laugh at it. But we gotta draw the line somewhere. We gotta have some morals and some ethics, bro. We gotta draw the line somewhere. I saw people skinning and grinning that this sister lost her life. And there's brothers that look like me, bro. That ain't it. If you're one of them people, bro, go sit down on somebody's couch, talk to somebody. Karma has a funny way of humbling us all. We got the DJ himself, Cortez Smith. Hey, I done checked your beats out, bro. You ain't even know I was over there all on your page. I done checked out some of your beats, bro. Real talk. I'm glad to see you here, brother. I said earlier, but I hit that 50K a year threshold a couple years ago. I saw my circle and situation starting to change around me, moving accordingly. Bro, I'm gonna give you a piece of game. I remember when I hit that mark, that 50K mark. Where you are right now, especially if you got a lot of upside, where you are right now, and I don't know if you've already experienced it, but be wary of people lying on you, bro. Be wary of people telling lies on you. And it's not something that you have to proactively go out. Who telling lies? Who talking about me? Just keep your ear, keep an open ear to people lying on you. For whatever reason, and I've seen it a couple times over, and it may be industry specific, but the more you start to earn for whatever reason, once you hit that 50,000 mark, especially if you came up through the ranks. Now, if you just going into an industry, or you just going into a new job or whatever, you're probably not going to see it as much. But if you're somebody who moved through the ranks and you weren't making 50 and you've gradually increased your income to get to that point, keep an ear open to people lying on you and doing little slick shit. You know what I mean? But congratulations, bro. That's a milestone. Keep going. You know, keep going. Don't stop. If 50K is where you want to land at, hey, I'm not one to judge. I'm not one to tell you, no, you need to go out and earn more. I would say, of all of your gaining and all of your getting, make sure you take the time to take your vacations, bro, because I am notorious for finishing the year with a week or two left. And in my situation, it's use it or lose it. Right? Make sure you take your breaks. Make sure you rest up. Right? But congratulations on reaching that milestone, brother. That's big. That's huge. Don't get caught up in a lot of the talking points that happen here where they're saying, hey, you have to be at 100K. Hey, I get it. 100K is hell to make, bro. Especially if you're not in tech. If you're in industry, 100,000 is it's a beast to get to. And it's a beast to maintain. So imagine when you take it the next couple of steps up. Boy, say you're gonna look around, there's not gonna be too many people around you. All right. But get used to having a small circle. Start working on your network. Start building relationship with your boss's boss's boss. Start building relationship with vendors. I don't know. Matter of fact, what industry are you in, bro? If you don't mind me asking, I may be able to provide some insight on that. Brother Blackavelli, as always, dropping a good game. Absolutely, I tell people you got to unplug and get out. Everything is not doom and gloom. Absolutely, it's not, bro. Bro. I was gonna do and I may still do it. So, I'm gonna explain something that happened to me 2, maybe 3 weeks ago. I'm a tall guy. I'm not abnormally tall, but I'm tall, 6'3". And whenever I fly American, Southwest, I can get a normal seat. I just pay for priority boarding. But whenever I fly American, I do not like economy seats. Normally, the flights that I get on, they fly what's called a CR900 jet, passenger jet. It's not big, fast as shit. Go 500 miles an hour. You get to Texas to Kentucky pretty quick. But I hate economy seats. Not because I'm better than them people, but for my height and size, I do not like economy seats. So I always fly first class. Now, for brothers, once you get to a certain point, I advise any of you, and sisters, I advise any of you to fly first class. I'm gonna tell you why. I can think of a couple different occasions where the person next to me was an attorney in California. On more than a few occasions, the people next to me were college professors. On not my last trip, but maybe a few flights previously, there was a guy sitting next to me, both of us in first class. And I looked over and said, hey, man, how's it going? I always get a window seat. He said, oh, I'm doing pretty good. Okay, cool. Nothing abnormal. He was kind of going through his bag. And I learned something flying first class that I've began to use. I would always get people say, hey, so what do you do? And maybe it's just something that people do as a conversation starter, right? Hey, what do you do? I'd have the conversation. So I asked him first, hey, what do you do? He looks over, he says, I'm in automation. I said, huh, I know something about that. He says, oh, really? I said, yeah, I know something about that. I said, so what do you do with automation? He says, yeah, we put in packaging equipment. I know something about that. Do y'all deal with Fanuc robots? His eyes lit up. Long story short, the plane took off. We leveled out. The light went off where you could take your seatbelts off. Both of us ordered a cup of coffee and we had a conversation. Comes to find out, this guy is the owner and CEO of one of the biggest manufacturing companies. I had never heard of this guy's last name. One of the biggest custom manufacturing machine companies in the country. He gave me his card. He asked for mine. I didn't have one for him like a jackass. I sent him an email. I said, hey, sir, had a nice conversation on the plane. Just reaching out, letting you know that if we do need your services in the future, that I'll be contacting you. He responded to the email, hey, man, it was a pleasure talking to you. If you're ever out in California, you have the address, come to the front, ask for me. I'd love to have a cup of coffee with you and have you tour our site. That's the power of just being in first class, bro. There are a lot of other conversations I've had where sometimes I don't feel like talking. I'm full of Dramamine, and I always get the drowsy kind so I can go to sleep on the flight. And normally I get woke up by the plane landing. So, but that's one of the things about flying first class. I passed that point and duly noted, and I definitely use my PTO every other month. Hey, that's right. Hey, use that PTO and rest up, bro. You got to do it. People on YouTube be throwing around 100K as if half the population make that. No, facts. And I'm telling you, bro, it's. I keep it 100, which I make over 100,000, but bro, it's not easy, bro. It's not. And the cold part about it, people will come out and say, "Oh man, 100,000, that ain't shit, man. I make this." I'm like, bro. What they don't tell you is how much Uncle Sam take of it. That's what they don't tell you. Uncle Sam light you up on that on that 100K. And the more you make, the more they're gonna take too. That's the cold part about it. So you got to get to a point where you're like, man, I need to make enough so that Uncle Sam can get his piece and I can have a little bit left over to live halfway decent. Working finance and working the Carolinas. Okay, cool. Finance is a good industry to be in, bro. I gotta leave that to people like you because I can turn wrenches all day. I can train people how to turn wrenches. I can train the people that train the people to turn wrenches. Finance, I'll leave it to you guys, the beautiful brains to do that kind of stuff. My brother Black Trey said, you are the CEO of your life. Hire, fire, and promote accordingly. Accept people as they are, but place them where they belong. Man. Hey man, if anybody's taking notes, make sure y'all write that down. Take a screenshot of it. I'll give you enough time to you can double tap your phone backwards, take a screenshot of that. You are the CEO of your life. Hire, fire, and promote accordingly. Accept people as they are, but place them where they belong. I live by this daily. Place them where they belong. Place them where they belong. Shanquella Robinson should have placed those people where they belong because they damn sure didn't belong in a hotel room with her in Mexico. See how that worked? My bro, stay dropping gems. Less than 10% of the population makes 100,000. Hell yeah. The delusion is even worse on Twitter. Absolutely. Bro, that's why I said the internet is a weird place. The internet is a weird ass place, man. Not too many people make 100, bro. I'm gonna keep it a stack with you. Not too many people make 100. And there's nothing wrong with that. The cold part about it is what a lot of sisters got to understand is it's okay for a brother to not make 100 because you can take your 50, you can take his 50, y'all put it together, and that's 100. I think with a lot of them, what they want to do is be able to spend, like a lot of content creators call it out. Even Saint Kevin, long live him, God rest the dead. A lot of them want that lifestyle, and that's cool if you want lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? But you got a better chance of building it with somebody than trying to take on that burden by yourself. Because got a headache right now from shit I've been doing for work, and I'm on vacation. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. networking one-on-one, keep business cards on you at all times. Never know who you're gonna meet. Yeah. So you know what I do, bro? Because this was a personal trip. This was me running back home for the weekend. But you're right, keep business cards on you at all times. What I typically do, I'll take a business card and then I just reach back out to them through email, which I probably need to get better at doing that, you know. Exactly. That's why rich people join country clubs. Hell yeah. Hey, I wish somebody would try to run up at a country club and you ain't got no membership. You ain't gonna get stopped at the door. Like you said, that's the whole purpose of it. But we've been going an hour strong. This stream might get copyright striked or whatever, because we've been jamming. My boy Black Tread TV always dropping bars, bro. But for each and every one of you that are here, my boy Condemned you. He said, "What's your cash app, sir? I thought you had super chat, but not yet. I want to slide some coin your way for this good word. I needed this today." Hey, brother, I appreciate you, man. And I think my email is on the YouTube channel, turnerwrenchturn@gmail.com. Anytime you got any kind of questions, bro, reach out. My cash app is in the bottom left of the screen, so it should be. Let me hide this. So it's right there, wrench turning, right there to the bottom left. I hid your comment so that you're able to see it. For those who prefer to use PayPal, it's at the bottom right. And as always, the money that I get from cash apps or anything like that, I always put it right back into the channel. So the camera that I'm using right now is a Canon 80D, and I'm gonna show y'all the progression. I don't want y'all to think I'm lying. I think this is one camera. I think this is another camera. So all of the coins that you guys drop me, I just dump it right back into the channel, bro. To keep trying to make sure I bring y'all some fire content. And I actually got a couple of lenses back there. The lighting that you see, all of that stuff is I just put it right back into the channel, because at the end of the day, I get the aspect that, hey man, if we sit down and we spend time watching you, we want to get something out of it. We want to be entertained. We want to learn something. We want a different perspective. We want you to be able to take what everybody else is talking about and then put a different spin on it. Or hey man, you are this guy that worked with Kevin Samuels, man. What makes you different than anybody else? And so that's what I try to provide. I try to provide a different perspective. I try to provide information that may be common and may not be common, based on where I'm from and the part of the country that I'm from and the way that I grew up. Right? My brother say, I missed that. It was right there in front of me. This word has my eyes disabled. Great discussion, sir. As always, man. As always. I've been told that a lot of times I need to put the medicine in the candy. But bro, I feel like I would be fake if I came out and talked about something that I really don't give a damn about just because everybody else was talking about it. So that's why you really don't see me talk about current events. If you notice, you go through my my videos, you really don't see the same trending topics like you see from a lot of people, and I get it. With the resources and the networks that I have, like my channel could have been over 1,000 subscribers. I could have been monetized, all that stuff, but I'm in no rush to do that because, like I always say, there's a certain type of brother, a certain type of sister that I want over here listening and having these conversations and going back and forth and bouncing information off of. What comes with a lot of the trending topics is a shit ton of trolls, bro. And the reality of it is, I really don't even. That ain't the type of energy I want. I don't even. That shit is weird to me. I couldn't imagine being a troll. That shit's fucking weird. Excuse my French, but it's weird to me. I don't see how somebody gets up every day and then play on the internet. That shit is odd. I'm gonna drop the link in case anybody want to let me pin that to the top. In case anybody wants to anybody want to drop in and rap a tag. And I always try to make sure I give everybody an opportunity to call in because I appreciate you all being here. Like I said, we got some of our favorite YouTubers alive right now. We got Uncle D, Dennis Sperling is live. I think Lead Attorney is live. And these are guys who are killing it, right? Who are killing. I moderate for both of those channels too. So, you know, our sister lady asked, she said, writing is childish for adults to act like that. Yeah, but what I found is, and that's the StreamYard link. What I found is that the people who have a good time trolling online, normally what that means is their personal life is it probably can use some tuning up. Their personal life is probably in shambles. That is the only way I can think of that somebody would make it a point to get online every day and just tease people, grown ass people. Miss Harris, I appreciate the knowledge. I'm not here at this kind of time for gossip. Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't have I grew up, man, my mom would pop me in my mouth. Excuse my French. My mother would pop me in my mouth. If you were gossiping, if you were a tattletale, you get popped in your damn mouth. So I grew up with that kind of programming. It's hard for me. It was even hard for me to put this thumbnail up with this sister on there. So I struggle with that. I struggle with that kind of stuff, man. I was brought up, and I'm not saying I'm some super gangster or I got more game than anybody else. I'm just saying I was programmed growing up. I was programmed a certain way, and it's hard for me to just talk about other people every day. I would prefer to talk about ideas. I would prefer to talk about concepts. I would prefer to talk about information. I would prefer to exchange information, right? Those are the things that I really would prefer to do. Hey, to Jeff, and my apologies for those of you who have sent cash outs. My apologies, man. I've been sitting here rapping with y'all. I don't have my notifications on the phone on. I appreciate all the cash apps that you guys have sent, man. And I'm gonna make sure I read them out. I say thanks for the insight. All right, stages of life. Absolutely, I appreciate you. I absolutely appreciate it. I'm gonna keep. Let me see. Let me go down the line again. Hey, I appreciate it, my brother Jeff. Hey, thank you, sir. I appreciate you. But yeah, man, I would prefer to talk about ideas, concepts. There's a lot that I can learn from a lot of you guys. Brother Jeff is in finance. I don't know nothing about finance. I just know if my finances are right. I can tell you how to go sit down and negotiate a raise, though. You can believe that. Now, what I will say is that conversation is that's somewhat of a consultation, but I can teach you how to sit down and negotiate a raise. And you may not be able to go in and get it the next day. Some may, but there's some work that you got to do. I can tell you about that because I've done it more than a few times. If anybody know my story, I've done it more than a few times. I can show you I can show you how to go get an extra 50,000 out of a company. You can believe that, Jack. I cannot stand when I hear grown men gossip. Yeah, a dude told me that I needed to spill the tea, and I nearly slapped. Yeah, bro, that's real zesty. What dudes be calling gossip tea, that's real zesty, and it go to show that not everybody is meant to have a lot of the conversations that we have, bro. Unfortunately, a lot of them not. I wish dude would ask for some tea, bro. I don't have no tea, bro. I I don't have no tea. You'll rarely come over here and see me and a bunch of other brothers on panel screaming at each other. Won't do that shit, bro. And that's why I'm okay with my channel not being big as some of the other ones because that ain't the type of energy I want, bro. And the way that I am online, the brothers that know me, the way that I am online is exactly how I am in person, bro. I will help anybody, but I'm not a mark. I'm not a gangster. I'm not none of that, bro. I'm a brother who really wants to see people do well. I really want to take all of these years of experiences and all of these sacrifices and sacrificing relationships with good women, sacrificing relationships with my kids, sacrificing relationships with family members. I want to be able to take all of that shit that I've gone through and push it back out in a cleaner form so that a lot of you don't have to go through that. You can just come to somebody like me and have a conversation. If you want to do the full consultation where we line behind the scenes and really hammer out what it is that you got going, what my advice would be, so on and so forth, absolutely would do it. If you want to know what makes me primed to have these conversations, January will be year 10 with the company that I'm with. I'm a senior manager. Um, and each site is different, but it's a director level position. So I'm the number 2 guy in charge of a really big manufacturing operation. I've been in 7 different positions over the last 10 years. Um, I made it to um, leadership in 10 months, where it would normally take people 3 to 5 years to do it. Some people it take them 7 years. I did it in 10 months. Like I said, that was just me learning about the way my brain works and how I process information. Um, Learning that I wasn't crazy because my brain worked really, really fast as it relates to what it is that I do. Um, so that's the beauty of it. And there are so many brothers in the hood. There's so many brothers that are like that. They just are not in the right industry. I was blessed to figure it out, and I was blessed to figure out how my mind works. That's the part that a lot of people miss. So they'll say, "Hey, man, what college did you go to? Hey, what type of training did you go through to do this?" Hey, bro, the good Lord saw this little chubby kid from the projects in West Dallas, you know, um, from the neighborhood with all the shotgun houses in West Dallas. The good Lord saw it fit to drop the gifts on me, and a lot of it, some of it was luck. Um, but I also, once I figured it out, I watered the hell out of that plant, or watered the hell out of those skills until I could get to the point where I can make the most out of it. So I'm extremely blessed. Game is to be sold, not told. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I'm on my PMC. Yeah, the game is to be sold, not told. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, man, hey, real talk, man. Real talk. It said send them to Oakland. Hey, man, Oakland. Hey, man, y'all. For those of you who don't know, Oakland gets real zesty down there. It gets real zesty down there on Oakland. They'll be trying to take you to the Streisand concert. You go down there on Oakland, boy. Oh, he said, "Oh, you the HNIC for real? Salute." Yeah, bro. The funny thing about it is, the higher you go, the more of yourself that you give if you're doing it right. The higher you go in industry, bro, the more of yourself that you give, because you work for the people. And a lot of them, the only part of you that they see is this person has the ability to affect my livelihood and how I feed my family. So um, there's an art to it, and you have to go above and beyond to try and show people that, hey, I'm really here. I work for you guys. Um, the way I was taught is you practice servant leadership, and sometimes that means mentorship outside of our day-to-day stuff. And then you have to walk a fine line with that, because you don't want to get into a situation where um, it's an HR issue or it's favoritism. So um, being in leadership is it's rewarding. I enjoy doing it. Um, like I said, a lot of it is mentorship outside of the actual work that we do. So I'll give you an example. When somebody is getting to the point where they're about to get termed, we can easily sit back and allow them to get fired, or you can pull them to the side and say, "Hey, man, listen, you got this situation. This is the landscape. This is what's going on. You got one more time before you phase out. What can we do to make sure that don't happen?" You know what I'm saying? That's a different. It takes a different type of leader to do that. You know, to fire somebody is a big deal. You before the holidays too. You messing with people's livelihood, and that's how you have people come back and go postal without saying too much on this here good old live stream. That's how you have people come back and go postal, because um, even when you have to make a decision like that, if you have a track record of really trying to help people, you stand a chance a lot less of that happening. But um, you have to be careful, because you're dealing with people's livelihood. You're dealing with how they feed their families. You're dealing with, um, how they feed their kids, and those are things that people take very serious. I drop the link. Let me find out anybody coming up. I know it's kind of late, man. Drop the link one more again. I'll let it ride for a little bit, and then I'm gonna get out of here and be a consumer of content just like y'all. Um, but as always, I absolutely appreciate each and every one of you who are here in the stream right now. If you stop by, shout out to AV to the seventh power. Beautiful sister. Um, Absolutely supports the brothers on this platform. Um, Go and subscribe and hit the notification bell to all that she has going over there. She recently got monetized, I want to say a couple weeks back. So good job on her, right? Make sure you share these videos, these conversations that we're having, because they're not common conversations that a lot of people have, especially as it relates to those of us who are in positions to help. Um, and regardless of regardless of what industry that you're in, a lot of the stuff that we talk about with leadership is transferable. Servant leadership is not relegated to just one type of industry. You can be a servant leader no matter where you go. And matter of fact, if you learn it, that's how you can get to that 100K. As you move up in the chain, how important to keeping your personal business as much to yourself as possible? This is a damn good question. So the higher you get, people are going to want to know who you are. They'll want to know who you are, and it's okay to share. Hey man, my name is Jeff. I have a 10-year-old son. He plays football. I coach his son on the weekends. I've been married for 2 years. My wife's name is Allison. She's originally from Ohio. We go up there, every holiday season to enjoy, to have our snowy Christmas. You can share certain things about you personally. I would say, I would kind of contain it to, um, kind of the normal. I wouldn't go too deep. Now, what'll happen as you really start to climb the chain and you get into senior leadership, that almost flips on its head, and you really start to see things that people have going. Stuff that is really, the dealings of the household, the relationship dynamics. You start to see a lot more stuff. But there's nothing wrong as you move up the chain with talking about some of your personal business, because the flip side of it is, if you turn into a clam, you start to alienate yourself from everybody else, and everybody else is, people are meeting each other's wives, they're meeting each other's girlfriends. We know this guy has X amount of kids. We know he got a daughter and 2 sons. So you don't want to clam. You don't want to turn into a clam and kind of block yourself off. But it's okay to say, hey, I went to this university, I went to this college, I studied such and such. Talk about your hobbies. That kind of stuff is cool. If you're going through something with your girlfriend, you absolutely don't want to. You don't want to bring that to work. You don't want to talk about that. If a chick busted your window out last night, you don't want to be like, hey man, I'm gonna be late today, man. This my ex, she threw a Duracell battery through my back window last night, and I'm still trying to figure out the meaning of life right now. You don't want to have those kind of conversations. But it's okay to to kind of give people a peek into who you are. Just and look at it from this perspective. People are really just trying to. All right, I know that his name is Jeff. I know he's our finance guy, but what else is there to Jeff? And what you'll find sometimes when you have those conversations, you have a lot of stuff in common with people, and it opens you up to career growth too. If you say, hey, I coach football, and you got another guy, the guy who makes decisions, his son plays football. He's like, oh yeah, my son plays running back. He's really not too good. Oh well, hey man, have hey, have him check out these YouTube videos. There's a guy on YouTube. He talks about foot placement, so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? So you start to get more of a human interaction with some of the decision makers, right? So you don't have to, you don't have to talk about, you don't have to talk about, hey, my ex flipped out last night and bleached the seats of my Cutlass, and now I need to figure out a wrecking yard. They got bucket seats for an '84 Brougham. You ain't got to go that deep. Excellent questions. I made this mistake a few times already. Yeah, like I said, you definitely don't want to clam up. That's one of the main takeaways I want you brothers to get from this. You definitely don't want to clam up. You don't want to be seen as a weirdo. I've seen that happen too, where dudes just won't talk about nothing. Even if they come to the work functions, you can tell that they're uncomfortable there. So you don't want to climb up, but it's okay to say, hey, this is what I like doing on the weekends, so on and so forth. Don't talk about how drunk you got. Don't talk about how fucked up you got on the weekend. Don't do that. But it's okay to, to talk about, to show some parts of your, at the end of the day, you want to show some parts of your personality. There's a specific type of person that likes sports. There's a specific type of person who likes race cars. There's a specific type of person who likes to read on the weekends. There's a specific type of person who likes to build stuff, DIY projects on the weekend. Hopefully that gives you an idea. A lot of times they're really just trying to make sure you're human. They're just trying to see who is this human that I work next to every day that I really don't know too much about. Miss Harris, I've been a shop steward in my union for over 20 years. Trying to help is very draining. It is very draining because you can't put your work ethic into people. That's what makes it draining. If we could take work ethic out of ourselves, plug it into somebody else, and just let them run, that would be ideal. But that's what makes leadership hard. That's what makes leadership exponentially hard. Right? Don't show how she brought her ex over to fight you. Yeah. Yeah, don't be like, hey man, she brought some albino dude over there. He looked like he had been in the gym for the last 6 years, and you know, he hopped out the charger with some Muay Thai shorts on, and roundhouse you and kick you in the side of your head, and now you got to call in the next day. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't share anything that can be weaponized at a later time. Yep, that's a good marker, right? If anything comes up later on, you're like, oh, yep, you know. Oh, we heard about you. You know, you fell at the skating rink skating with your kid. Oh yeah, man, it happens. You know, I'm getting old. Stuff like that is cool, but hey, man, how'd that situation go with your ex busting out your window? They'll be laughing at you as soon as you walk off, but you just be measured. You know, like you said, you don't want to have anything that can be weaponized against you later on. The personal touch help when building relationships. Yeah, all of the people who made decisions to help me grow up in the business, bro, I know how many kids they got outside of going over to their homes and having dinners. And a lot of times they invite you over because they want to know, like, hey, we're getting ready to invite you into the inner circle, especially when you're moving up into leadership. Hey, we're getting ready to bring you up here with us. We want to know who you are, sir. And Anton Daniels had on that same stream yesterday morning. He talked about that. I'm gonna give y'all a piece of game, bro, that hope y'all take and run with it. Get real good at keeping secrets too. So if you're out with senior leadership, you got a decision maker. He done had too many Jack and Cokes. He starts slurring his words. He married and he end up in some other girl face, bro. Don't take that shit. That shit need to stay right there where y'all at. Get real good at keeping secrets. And when I say secrets, I'm not talking about life-changing secrets. I'm talking about secrets that could be embarrassing or that can be weaponized at a later date, like my brother Black Tread said. Much needed advice. I work in the finance team and I'm the youngest and third in line leadership-wise. Yeah. Ladies stay coming to me to talk. I'm going to give you a piece of advice on this. Anytime you're interacting with not only the ladies, but anybody in general, always have the conversation as if you were being recorded. That was one of the best pieces of advice I ever got when I was an up-and-coming leader. Always make sure the conversations are had in a way as if you were being recorded, as if they had a recorder in their pocket. You guys are talking. They've already, think about it like they hit the record button right before they got to you, before you saw them walk up. As long as you do that, you'll be good to go. You'll be good to go. And right now, we're not all the way in the clear with this Me Too era. So whenever you're having a conversation with the ladies, just be careful. And I'm not saying you got to be weird, but just be careful. And make sure the conversation remains in the spirit as if you were being recorded. That's one of the best pieces of advice that I ever received. Right, let's see. I suggest read the 48 Laws of Power. Yeah, recommend it for everyone. Hell yeah, 48 Laws of Power, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. What is it? The 27 Traits of Highly Effective People. Fire in the Belly by Sam Keen. On my end, being a manufacturer in Toyota Kata. I don't recommend it for everyone. Yeah. Blankavilla, the funny thing about the 48 Laws of Power, I've had two people read that book, and they got two different they took two different things away from it. One of them was like, hey man, that's some good game. The other one was like, man, it sounds to me like 48 ways to lose all of your friends. I was like, bro, obviously you didn't get that shit didn't register with you. 48 Laws, like you said, the 48 Laws of Power is not for everyone. If you can read it and you can really take it for what it is, it's definitely some good information to have. It's definitely some good information to have. The conversation I worry about having, that inner circle convo. Hey, in order for you to be a part of the higher ups, you got to kill this goat. Nah, man. What I can tell you, moving up into senior leadership, there's not conversations like that. What I can tell you is, and it's nothing like that. And obviously, I don't know if y'all can see that. You don't have to. It's nothing like that where you gotta. Not at my level anyway. You know what I mean? Like I said, and from what I've seen from corporate, it's not like that either. But a lot of the secrets that you should keep are mostly stuff that's just embarrassing. Um, or maybe it's something personal that someone in senior leadership cared to share with you, that shouldn't make it past you, right? Um, I've had one. I had one senior leader tell me, hey man, for a period of time, because I was a single parent, he said, hey man, for a period of time, I was a single parent too. Now, as small as that is, I never went and told anybody else that, hey man, our president of manufacturing was a single parent too. That was just a conversation between he and I that I appreciated his feedback that he gave me, but I also understood that was something personal about him that had he wanted everyone to know, he probably would have put it on his PowerPoint slide whenever he took that position. So that's what I mean about keeping secrets. I'm not talking about something that's, you know, has the power to shut down the company or nothing like that or get anybody in trouble. I'm just talking about sometimes people share personal information with you. Sometimes your bosses share personal information with you about them, about their lives. They might share a college story with you where they did something silly and embarrassing. If that story comes back and it's somebody who's not in that inner circle or a part of that group comes back, hey, Mr. Such, I heard you used to get drunk in college. Oh no, you don't want to. No, sirree, you don't want to do that. So the information that you get, I would say the information that you get, just hold it to yourself. And sometimes you'll be in situations where people will do something embarrassing, and they'll watch you for a little bit. We'll watch you for a little bit to see if you're gonna take it and run with it. Because if you can't hold that, bro, it's definitely some stuff that you can't be a part of. Sometimes people have too much to drink. You know, somebody got to call them an Uber. They come to work the next day. Hair, they got bed hair, and so on and so forth. So, um, those are the things that you got to think about. But moving into senior leadership, man, it's something that the cold part about it is I personally feel like the best way to do it is when you move up through the ranks because you have an opportunity to kind of build, you kind of reinforce um, your report tools along the way. But it is extremely difficult to dive into a senior leadership role if you haven't had a chance to grow those leaders along the way. Um, because you have to then turn around and train them to operate the way that you need them to operate to benefit the bigger picture. Shout out to my boy Green Peel Will. My boy Green Peel Will with the dub. Hey, I appreciate you, bro. I copied you in a post where somebody thought you was the guy that went overseas and something happened to. I was like, nah, bro, Will straight. I was like, we're good to go. We're good people. For those of you who don't know, the art of Will, I call him Green Peel Will. He the one who got on Melanie King top. And I don't personally have nothing against Melanie. My regular life is so busy, bro. I try to stay out of the YouTube phrase, but um, definitely shout out to my bro, the art of Will, aka I call him Green Peel Will. See my boy say the inner circle. No, you ain't got to kill no goats, bro. Oh, that Toyota Kata book, yeah, man. Hey, so this is how brilliant the Japanese are. Did y'all see the video where um after that soccer game they stayed and cleaned up the stadium? When I saw that, I wasn't surprised. when it comes to manufacturing, bro, it's a culture. We try to emulate the culture here, or we try to emulate a lot of what they do here, but the culture is not set up for it. The same level of discipline is not there. So you take what you can get from it, and the rest, you got to leave it. But that is a disciplined group of people, and there's real money tied to the way that they are. Or there's real money tied to how disciplined they are. Get that Illuminati membership card. We got my brother Project 8020 in the building. Hey man, if anybody has not subscribed to Simple Shit TV, go and check my brother out, Project 8020. When I was in Kentucky last week, I called into the panel a few times. I think I called in sometime this week and had some technical difficulties at the drop off. I didn't want to ruin my brother's stream. Mason. 32nd degree, brother. Seen that Toyota Cotto on your stack of books. Yeah, man. I never thought I would be the guy that would have like a stack of books around the house, but how times change. And a lot of times I refer back to them. I also keep them around. Um, like I said, I refer back to them. Sometimes there's information in there that I need to go back and look at. But I also, as I've grown on my journey, those books are books that we either read as a group every week, you know, as a group, as a leadership group, and probably I'm going to turn around and do the same thing with the folks that I lead now. We'll have a meeting every week on the calendar. It'll be in Outlook where we'll sit down and read these books, bounce ideas off of each other because I think it helps. It opens your mind up to a lot of different things. My brother is in. Hey, bro, how do they pronounce that? Qatar or Qatar? I've heard both. I say Qatar. Go to my first. Oh, I go to my first World Cup match on Friday. Bro, I'm not the biggest fan. No, I'm not the biggest football. We call it soccer. I'm not the biggest football fan, but I would probably be shirtless with a big ass fake chain on if they let me go to the World Cup. I ain't gonna even lie. The energy there is next level. The energy is next level. The art of will. I remember watching the Japanese fans clean up their own mess in the Rio World Cup. Yeah, a disciplined group of people, bro. That is admirable. That Toyota Kata book that was on my YouTube post, that is literally how they do manufacturing. And bro, they leave no coin on the table the way that they do it. Highly disciplined, very strategic, really process oriented. It's revolutionized manufacturing, bro. You think Ford revolutionized making cars with the assembly line? The Japanese have revolutionized manufacturing to the point to where you really get the most out of everything. Got my boy Simple Shit TV in the building. Absolutely watching on both channels for you, big bro. Hey, I appreciate it, bro. I need to get the watch hours up, and I need to get my subscriptions up. But I kind of fear growing too fast, bro. And I talked about it with the trolls and shit. And I have my reasons for that. I won't say fear. I'm careful about growing too fast. There's a certain type of group, certain type of people that I want on this channel that are able to have the conversations, how we're bouncing ideas off of each other. There's a certain type of people that I want over here. I think I had a troll pop up one day. I immediately blocked his ass. So those are the things that I try to steer clear of. And these channels take a lot longer to organically grow than coming out talking about the celebrity stuff. And I'm good with that, right? And like all of you brothers, support through Cash Apps and through the PayPals. So I appreciate you as I grow along the way and as I try to provide at least some type of space where we can have these conversations, or you guys can ask questions, just like Brother Jeff. That was a hell of a question to ask about your personal business, right? Because immediately you think, I don't want y'all knowing nothing about me, but in order to move up, we got to know who you are. We want to know who you are, bro, because you get in some positions where you can really do a lot of damage, and we need to know who you are, how you operate, What you got to lose? You're gonna come over here and hang out with us. We need to know a little bit about you. Both is fine. I say it the way you said. Qatar, gotcha. I'm rocking my throat, traditional Arab dress. Bro, I'm a big dude and I want one. I want one. I ain't gonna lie, I want one. That shit look fly. Been trying to get to Japan since 2020 Olympics. I've heard the city is even real clean. Japan is really clean, you know. Well, certain cities in Japan are really clean. 100% agree. Yeah. Did I drop that link again? Drop it one more again. Drop that link one more again, and then I'm gonna get out of y'all way. But any questions that anybody have, as always, you can reach me at turnerwrenchturner@gmail.com. Any questions that you have, I don't check that email every single day, but I do make it a point to try and check it at least once or twice a week. I have about 5 different emails where I'm getting work from, I'm getting information from, I'm getting asked questions from. I'm on vacation right now, so if there's any time where it would actually get answered, it's probably while I'm on vacation here back home. Appreciate each and every one of you. As always, we're gonna go out. I ain't gonna say as always, but tonight we're gonna go out with the jam. And this whole stream probably gonna get shut down, bro. Y'all probably not gonna be able to find this because I've been jamming. We've been jamming. But we're gonna go out to some ball and G. Hey man, as always, it's all Big Bro got for y'all tonight. Y'all be good. Bet.
Anyway, it doesn't matter much how you feel. You know what you gotta do. I'm here to do it. How about you, mister?
Alright, 5 years up. We was young bucks scrubbing each other's back in the bathtub. Babysitter send you to bed, but she'll make me stay up so she can give a young player some vicious head. Early symptoms of time of night ranking. Gigantic factor from the Coquina's bridge stage. Some had it all down, but less unfortunate. You had an alloy spoke mongoose and I
Hey.
You owned the green.
What's going on, boss?
Oh, it's going good. I couldn't let you leave like that, man.
Oh yeah, man. I'm
it
glad
is
you.
good. Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm glad you came up, man. You doing all right?
Yeah. I changed jobs. I'm a little
Nice.
bit happier with the newer job as opposed to what I left behind. So
Nice.
Yeah,
What industry are you in, if you don't mind me asking?
So I used to do human resources.
Okay.
Now I'm a recruiter. It's
Nice.
a lot better. It's more merit based.
Nice.
Less rainbow.
Yep. So let me ask you this.
Sure.
How do you navigate? Because what I saw as I kind of grew into leadership, how do you navigate having this new wave, this new all of these people coming into the workforce and they have literally been bred in a really PC environment? How do you navigate the guy that wants to hit the door and get promoted after 3 months? He wants to make 100,000 off the rip because he feels like he's worth it versus not having any experience to show his worth. How do you navigate that, right? Because it's really PC nowadays.
So I don't really think about it. I let them do most of the talking. I don't say much. I only say things if it's necessary.
Right.
I don't look to try to climb the corporate ladder because I already know where it leads to, even if you do move up. Especially if you get into a salary position, it's very hard to get into a C level position. They're going to keep you at D level for the longest time. And those are the people that will work the most hours without the overtime. And just knowing that is kind of what just made me not want to, mess with the corporate ladder. Just, kind of just stay where I am for now, but at the same time make other moves, like learn about passive income, that kind of stuff. Read books like Rich Dad Poor Dad. Also John C. Maxwell. And I'm also going to cop that Toyota Kata that you put into the chat. I can't believe I didn't even know about that because I read books, like I'm not sure how relevant it is, but I read books, the Musashi Miyamoto, and I think
Mm.
it's very similar to the Toyota Kata. And from what I understand, I think even the Boeing company, I think even adopts some of the probably almost all of it, the Toyota Kata into. They have something called the the Kaizen board. I think it's called the
Yep.
Kaizen board or something.
Yep.
So
You know what Kaizen stand for?
something.
Simple change.
It just means simple change. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Simple or small change. Kaizen is like 2 words, Kaizen. Um, what I can tell you about the salaried roles, man, there's absolutely a formula as far as breaking into it.
Mm,
What I did and what I was trained to do, and it's one of those things where I had really good leaders and I had to trust what they were telling me, and I did trust those guys. But
right.
the easiest way to break into leadership is learn what it is that your boss cares about and just beat them to the punch on everything, bro. Beat them to the punch on everything. So if the mark is if the mark is you gotta fill 3 rolls a day, fucking do 5. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Or whatever, or if you have a quota or anything like that.
yeah.
In my case, like I said, I was fortunate enough to figure out what I was good at. So I just I took off running and nobody else was really even close. Even when something opened up, they would come and ask me, like, hey, are you gonna apply for that? I'd be like, no, I'm good. They'd be like, okay, so I'm gonna apply if you're not gonna apply. But
Mm,
once you learn what it is that whoever you report to, once you learn what it is that they care about, um, and beat everybody to the punch, and even if you know where the bar is, you go over where the bar is, you'll be good, bro. You'll be good. And that is literally how you move up fast. You just learn what it is that the bosses care about, and you just execute the shit out of it. That's literally the formula for what I did, and I moved up extremely fast. And like even now with my new position. So I don't know if you know, but every now and then, if you look at my streams, you'll see a different background. You'll see like a living room with a fireplace in the background. But if you ever see me here with this background, this is my home in Texas. The other background is my home in Kentucky. But when I got out there, as soon as I took that promotion, I mean, the day that I landed, we sat down and had a meeting that week. They were offering me the more senior role. So it showed me that um, they really wanted me to come out there to take one of my mentors,
mm.
who's the number 1 guy. I'm the number 2 guy. He wants to go on and do something different, so he really wants me to come and take his role. That's what I learned when I got there.
Oh, wow.
Shit ton of money, but you get to a certain point where money is not everything. You know what I mean? It's all about timing.
No, I hear you. Do you plan on it's a little bit somewhat on topic, but do you plan like sometime in the future becoming the passport bro?
Absolutely, man. So I always fly with my passport just to get through TSA fast, but I have my passport.
Mhm.
Um, Next year, I actually will probably be the first time I'll actually go ahead and get out of the country. For the last 10 years,
Oh,
I've been focused on having the flexibility to be able to get out of the country. Meaning, if I wanted to grab 5 figures and be like, "Hey, I want to get out of the country," I can. I already been studying Portuguese, right?
oh, nice.
But not only Portuguese. Being from Texas, a lot of times we hear Spanish growing up.
Mm,
Black culture, Hispanic culture. You have friends that you've been knowing since fucking preschool. You know what I'm saying? So you hear a lot of Spanish. A lot of people down here that are not Hispanic, Black, white, Asian, even a lot of people speak Spanish. Um, but even Spanish, I've been thinking about jumping away from Portuguese and getting more into the Spanish.
mm,
But I think that absolutely. So to answer your question, hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. And I also, if you think about it, as I've been growing in industry, I finally have the flexibility, the information, um, the resources to actually make the most of it now. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
it's almost like everything lined up perfectly. But hell yeah, bro. Definitely will be a passport, bro.
Right on. That's also the plan for myself as well. Like I actually plan to permanently relocate. I'm looking at some Latin American countries myself. I'm keeping in contact with a couple of contacts in Colombia. One of them being I haven't reached out to him directly, but I can.
Mhm.
Andre,
Yep.
and then down in Mexico. I'm not sure if you know who he is. He does have a YouTube channel as well. And he's been in Austin's stream. He calls himself the Professor,
Okay.
Professor Mex. Yeah, so I've been
Yep.
keeping in contact with those people because I've been looking at either Mexico, Colombia. Um, Part of me, I don't know. Like some of my friends are telling me I should just go back to Korea, but the problem is, like, I've already lived what I wanted to live over there,
Right.
and too much has changed over there to where I don't, you know, it's just that I feel like I'm just going back to something I left behind.
Right.
But it's not something that, I won't, you know, not think about. It's still on the table, but it's not one of my top priorities. And just like you said, with Spanish, Spanish is like a very universal language, especially in almost every Latin American country, with the
Yeah.
exception of Brazil.
Yep.
Yeah, I think everybody should learn it, just for communication, especially with the it's the second most populous people in the U.S., I believe, from what I
Yep.
understand. Outside of white people.
Yep.
Um,
And growing.
yeah, they are growing. It's still more more businesses, more taco buses.
Yep.
It's not just that, construction businesses. And I
Yep.
remember a long time ago, someone mentioned about Tito the builder. Tito's not
Mhm.
building. Tito's not no longer the builder. Tito's running the building
Yeah.
the building
Yeah.
industry.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
man. I've always looked at it as even what we were talking about earlier in the stream, where I said I prefer to talk about ideas,
mhm,
concepts, and stuff like that. Obviously, we've been on the same panels before with Austin and stuff
mhm,
like that. A
mhm,
lot of the people that attack that young brother, man, they really don't have nothing against him. They need some content. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, it's easier unfortunately, to try and pick on a guy who may not have as much life experience as you, or may not be as old as you. It's easier to target him out for the sake of content
mhm.
versus really just coming out and being like, "Hey, man, I don't have an issue with that dude." You know what I'm saying? Um,
Right. But
I personally, it's one of the reasons why I try to super chat a lot. I love to see young guys really go out here, get in the world, and go after what it is that they want. So I could never, even if, and I don't disagree with Austin. I support everything he's doing. He's from Dallas like me. We're from the same city, and I've
mhm,
talked to him behind the scenes, right? Um, but I love to see young guys really get out in the world and go out and grab what it is that they want. So anytime I see those older guys that have any kind of pejoratives to say about him, I'm always like, bro, y'all too old for that shit. Like, don't get mad at him because you didn't maximize your early 20s. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
and those are the things that I think about. I don't make any content about those guys just because I know that part of it is envy, right? That
Mhm,
their 20s are good and gone. He's traveling all over the world, interacting with beautiful women, has a booming channel.
mhm.
Um, and it's sad, bro. It's sad to watch. But I'm happy for him because he's taking it upon himself to really to literally line everything up, put it into action, and make it happen. So he has my respect for that, man. I like the young dude, man.
I agree. Part of me does kind of wish he waited until 25. But
Mhm.
the reason why I say that is because, scientists say that your brain is fully at its peak when you hit 25.
Right.
I feel like in a way with him, he still has a couple more years, but he's going to learn.
Yep.
He may go through a little bit of growing pains right now. I know he's in his honeymoon phase.
Yeah.
It seems like,
Yep.
but I am happy for him. I like the content that he puts out. It's amazing.
Yep.
I want him to continue to do it. I gave him some suggestions behind the scenes as well to,
Yeah.
even to grow his channel even more. So some of the stuff I've taken from I hate giving these guys too much credit, but Fresh and Fit.
Yep.
Um, no, I got to tell you, okay, if you can filter, and I'm not going to say too much about them, if you can filter a lot of their lives and just
Hmm.
watch like their Money Mondays or just
Yep.
anything that has tips where they don't have a bunch of 304s surrounding them, you're going to get a lot of good information. They even had Robert Kiyosaki
Yep.
on one of their streams. So
Yeah.
and another guy, Aaron McClary. I follow a lot of anything that deals with finance.
Hmm.
I'm still apprehensive about crypto.
Yep.
I'm not
As
against
am
it.
I. Me too.
Exactly, because
Yeah.
it's a very volatile market.
Yeah.
I'm not against it, but I just feel like, looking at with currently looking at Bitcoin, it wasn't that long ago. Bitcoin was worth 60 grand. Now it's not even 20.
Yeah.
Um, some say it's a fire sale. Some say, part of me wants to do dollar cost averaging, but at the same time, it's cryptocurrency is just it. I heard about FTX and it's scary.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure Shiba Inu didn't help, right? Everybody kind of jumped on that wave, like, oh man, once it hits a penny, we're gonna be rich. But the reality of it is, what I've learned is, it's one of those things where I don't have enough time to dedicate to it to really fully understand it.
Mm,
So I would get bits and pieces of advice. Black Tread TV, who was in the chat earlier, he is doing really well with Ethereum, and this
mhm.
is somebody that I grew up with. He's doing really well with Ethereum, but I don't know a lot about it, and I'm honest enough to be like, hey, bro, I don't know too much about it. I'm not gonna mess with it too much. But for the ones that have figured it out, kudos to them. But I do think that there's some risk there that I'm not ready to take right now because I don't understand it enough. You know what I'm saying? So I share your sentiments there. Like, I don't know, man. So part of me wants to, hey, man, let me go ahead and throw 2,500 over there just in case. But at the same time, I'm like, man, it's hard to do.
Right. But the thing is, like, part of me does want to invest.
Mhm,
So the closest thing that I done is the stock market. I didn't.
mhm.
I was one of those fools that did get on the meme coin, Dogecoin.
Yeah, me
Um,
too. Me too. Me too.
but I am a licensed life insurance agent.
Nice.
It's not something I'm doing actively. It is
Mhm,
just something that I kind of just do passively. I'm not too active in it. I probably should be. But I just don't have the desire to talk insurance because it's
yeah,
boring.
yeah,
I like the investment aspect of it,
yeah.
but I'm also looking to see, the conversations that I have with people. Is this the right fit?
Right.
Is this something that is going to be the right fit for whoever I'm having this conversation with? Or
Yeah.
is this going to be something where, okay, if this is not something where they can use as a policy, is this going to be something where I can use as an affiliate marketing tool where,
Mhm,
okay, like, okay, it may or may not be the right fit for someone to have it as a policy, but if this
mhm,
person has a goal of wanting to make a certain amount of money, or hitting what they call a fin number, the financial independence number,
mhm.
you're not going to get that, being a salary man. It just doesn't
All right.
work that way.
Yep.
You have to run your business.
Yep.
You have to understand what do they say, what side of the quadrant you're on, and then you got to
Yep.
figure out how to get from the left. And I'm on the left,
Mhm.
but I want to get myself to the right, and the only way to do it is to either run your business or be a full-time investor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, since
Sure.
and this is, I've heard about this, and maybe you can provide some insight.
Mhm.
Which type of life insurance policy is it that you can take loans from? Because I've heard people say, like, hey, you just bankroll the hell out of the life insurance policy. You're able to take loans from it, interest,
Mhm.
use it to, start a business or whatever it is that you need to do. Which type of life insurance policy is that?
Yeah, no, I'm glad you asked. You could do that from a permanent life insurance policy. So it's not a
Okay.
term, it doesn't terminate.
Mhm.
So it is something that is what they call it, a cash value, and they also
Mhm.
call that infinite banking. Um, the one that I personally have an investment in, I hate calling it an investment, but it's called a IUL. It's an
Mhm.
index universal life insurance. So it's pretty much what makes it different than a universal life insurance. Have you heard of those terms before?
Yeah. And it's funny you say that because
Yeah.
I've been hearing it all my life, right? It's one of those things where you hear the commercial going on in the background at
Right.
my grandma's house when I was little, even sometimes now, and I don't watch a lot of TV, but nowadays it may pop up on YouTube or something because I may have
Mhm.
did a Google search about it at some point. But yeah, but I don't know a lot about it, but I think that information alone, and you hear the celebrities talking about it, right?
Mhm.
And I think for those of us who are content creators, especially in the space that we're in, I think that is a hell of a piece of information to have, man. Like I'll probably make a short of this, like, hey, you
Mhm.
guys need to listen to Will and really figure out what it is that these celebrities are talking about. Like, take all of the fanfare out of it. Um, take that this guy has a big ass chain on, take that out of it, and like really listen to the nugget that's in the message, and then reach out to Will, who is somebody who specializes in this, and maybe they need to sweeten the deal for you because your time is valuable. You know what I mean? Hey man,
Right.
you make it right for him. Sit down and have a conversation with him, and this is information that is life changing. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Um,
definitely. And it's amazing, financial education. Um, from what I understand, when you look at the population of Americans, only 1%, I don't
mhm.
even think it's even 2%. So it's like less than 2% are not only financially educated, but have a system set in place.
Yeah.
I hate to get into politics, but if there's one thing a politician in Florida did right was to not allow people to graduate until they actually passed a class in financial education. I
Yep.
think that's a really smart move for DeSantis to make
Yep.
on that.
DeSantis has he's been on the roll here. Um, in 2022. Maybe it's he's making some noise to make a bid for the presidency, or maybe he's been listening to the Manosphere and the Red Pill channels, but definitely has made some decisions that has gotten the attention of a lot of us in this space. So I definitely I'm picking up what you're putting down there. To answer condemn your question, so my little 100K year before taxes ain't enough to get rich. Nah, man, that ain't gonna cut it. It's
Right,
not gonna
especially with
cut it, man.
inflation.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
are we still at, what, 9.5% right now this year? I think last I checked, I
Man,
think we're at 9.5%.
man, I hadn't even looked. I've been more or less focusing on whether or not they're gonna increase these interest rates again. Because from what I've been what I've been hearing is that the interest rates that were around when I bought my home back in 2018,
Hmm.
we may not see them anymore. So I'm like, man, I can't see myself buying a home and paying like a 6%, 8%, over, you know what I mean? Like that is a crazy, that is crazy. You know what I mean? But I
It
know that
is.
the name of the game is to get it, get it in the right area, get it at the right time, get some equity, get out, try to get out of it as soon as possible. Nobody's really trying to pay off a house like that. But damn, for the ones who are actually trying to get a home to pay it off, shit, man, with an 8% interest rate or something like that, man, just think if it gets into the double digits, bro, that's crazy. That is crazy. It's made me hold off on selling my home. I tell you that. I looked at the equity and I was like, I was licking my chops. I was like, hey man, I'm on a corner lot, elementary school in the middle of the neighborhood. There's a new grocery store, new gas station. There's a church up the street. It has everything that a new family or a future growing family would need. But man, I seen them interest rates. I was like, nah, I think I might think I might want to hold off.
Yeah. Well, a part of me kind of sees that as a housing market correction in some way. Now,
Yeah.
it may not be if the housing prices don't drop. Now, if the housing prices drop, depending on how much it drops, I kind of see that as a little bit of a market correction, because
Yep.
honestly, I don't think a lot of people need to be owning homes.
Yeah.
Um, and when it was at the I think it was as low as 3% at one point. It was just too many people were
Yeah,
just owning it, and we're just just taking over debt, taking another debt.
yep,
They kind of what did Kiyosaki say? They treated debt like a chainsaw. It's a cool tool, it's a cool
yep.
weapon, but it can cut your hand off if you're not careful with it.
Yeah, yeah. I saw a funny we're having this conversation. I saw a TikTok earlier, and this lady was showing that I think it was JP Morgan was going to spend like $1 billion, um, basically having rent houses. And I was just like, man, there's no limit. There's no limit to their greed, man. But it's you know, you, I think what has the potential to happen is they get themselves into that Marie Antoinette let them eat cake type of situation where it's like, hey man, you can you can only push the people so far. You know what I mean?
Right.
But $1 billion in rental homes is crazy. So even when people go out and rent homes, they're literally renting it from banks. That's on the fun times that we're in. But it's also one of the reasons why I push for people to really take life serious on the front end. And it's one of the reasons why I do so much talk about working in industry. Number one, because I work in senior leadership, but also trying to help them fast track making enough money to be able to fund the ideas that you have. Because once those ideas work, you can essentially be a business owner, or you know what I mean? You can get
Mhm.
out of the rat race a little bit faster and be run a business. So my end goal has always been to try and empower people to be able to fund the ideas that they have. So even if it's a content creator, the faster you make money in your day job, the faster you can get into creating content. Um,
Right.
so those are some of the things that I think about, and those are conversations that I have with even my supervisors, my team leaders, managers that I train. Um, is hey man, take this serious, make as much, get compensated the most that you absolutely can for the time that you spend here, so that you're able to fund what it is that you really want to do.
Mhm. What industry do you specialize in for senior leadership? I see a wrench
Yeah,
on your logo, which is a kick-ass logo, by the way.
yeah, I made that, man. So I work in bottle manufacturing, and
Okay. Okay.
the funny thing about it is a lot of times whenever you go to a store and you pull that bottle off the shelf, right? Especially for Thanksgiving, like they're like, hey, you know, grab a bottle of, a 2 liter of Coke. Hey, grab a 2 liter of Mountain Dew.
Mhm.
Grab a 6 pack of Dr Peppers. Grab a 12 pack of Coke. There are machines that and highly complex machines that make that stuff happen. So you have what's called packers that actually makes the 12 packs where you go and get a 12 pack of soda.
Right.
That there are multi-million dollar pieces of equipment um, that actually go into filling those bottles. So you can do like what we call hot fill, or you can do what's called cold fill, where you're actually using CO2
Mm.
to have the product cool, so that when you fill it, um, you're actually filling it with a cold product. And also, if you don't cold fill, sometimes the bottle is soft and it causes for a whole nother issue. But after you cold fill, the bottle has condensation on it. It goes through a warm bath to bring the temperature down, so that the packaging is not wet. It's a lot that goes into it. Um,
Right.
did my battery run
It
out?
did. I don't know if it was a battery, but yeah, the screen went black. The screen went, yeah, pitch black.
Give me
Was
about
that a
30 seconds. I got an extra battery right here too. That
oh, okay. Right on. Yeah, but I do like that logo. That's and that wrench. Yeah. And I
Yeah, man. I learned that along the way when I was under the engineering department, as far as how to use Photoshop, and so
oh, okay.
I actually came up with that logo. Oddly enough, using Photoshop. And
Nice.
for whatever reason, whenever I change out the battery, it throws the focus off. So there we go.
Nice.
But
Yeah, earlier I wanted to cash app you, but it doesn't allow me to send a longer message. So I was like, all right, I'll
oh
PayPal.
yeah, did you put a message in on the let me see on the PayPal? Let me
Mhm.
look and see. because I got the notification.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah, it was just a small message just saying, hey, I didn't forget what you did for me in the Fight Club.
oh yeah, man. You know what? That's if you noticed, once I did that, nobody came back and tried to kick you off. And what that if you, whenever I normally want somebody on those panels, outside of talking to some of those folks behind the scenes,
Mm.
and not a lot of them, very few, but a lot of people know, like, more than likely you're not gonna outmoney me as far as what I want on the stream. I did it the other night. They had like some raging liberal chick that popped up, and I was just like, she not saying shit tonight. So I started out with like a $20. I was like, no, get her off. Two people came back with $20, like, no, put her on. I dropped 100, like, no, get her ass off. Like, she not saying nothing tonight. So they was like, well, she done for the night.
Wow.
But and the reason why I try to do that, man, is for the longest, we haven't been able to have, right, we hadn't been able to have barbershop talk where it's just men bouncing ideas off of each other. Whatever the conversation about is, if it's about anime, if it's about red pill topics, if it's about passport bros, if it's about industry, right? We haven't been able to have barbershop talk without someone diving in, throwing the conversation off. And for me, being an advocate for all men, I am going to make sure that with the way that I've been blessed, I'm going to make sure that that we can have those conversations, because I think that the world becomes a dangerous place when men can't get their thoughts, their emotions, their perspectives out. Um, and I think we've seen flashes of what happens when you have men who feel like they are disenfranchised. They start to um, do some of the most ugliest things in society. You know what I mean? So that is one of the reasons why I always try to super chat, no matter where I am, especially for male-centered content. In situations like that where it looks like somebody's getting ready to derail the conversation with some with some sweet and low, or with some really left wing ideology, I try to make sure I stop that, because I want us to have our spaces. I think we've built the world and we deserve to have our spaces, regardless of what anybody thinks about it. And that's all men, black, white, blue, purple, Asian. I think all of us deserve to have spaces where we're able to have conversations about things that are important to us.
I agree, and I think that's why the Manosphere was created, was initially for that. Of course, I do feel like it's been hijacked a little bit. I still
Yeah.
support the general idea of a Manosphere,
Yep.
and I'll even make an exception to a couple of women content creators that are in it, because I think they earn their spot. But at the same time, it seems that once the late Kevin Samuels left us,
Yeah.
it just became a free for all for who's going to get the rest of his fans.
Yeah.
He left behind.
Yeah,
And
man. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I just couldn't believe that how fractured the space became after he left.
Yeah, man. There was definitely a void left. For the short time that I worked with him, man, I absolutely enjoyed it, and really was a huge fan of him. And even for him, I didn't agree with 100% of everything he said, but I agree with a large part of what he said. I think that where a lot of guys got lost in the sauce is, a lot of them felt like, well, I don't make 100,000, so are you trying to tell me that I'm not valuable? And of course, that's not what the message was. The message is, hey, if you're not there, put your head down and grind so that you can get there if you want these type of outcomes. You know what I mean? And it's almost the same message that he gave the women, which is, be realistic about where you are and understand the outcomes that you want, and then are you willing to do the work to get those outcomes? You know what I mean?
Right.
But I think back to a couple years back with mediocre tutorials and reviews. There are a lot of streams where O'Shea, MTR, A lot of myself, a lot of other guys before O'Shea had the biggest channel at the time. I think he had 2 channels that were just off the charts.
Mhm.
And for us, I think I may have had 20 subscribers. MTR may have had, maybe 5 or 6,000 or something like that. Now I think he has like 500,000. But it's funny that we did those streams and all we talked about was what we're talking about right now: career growth, finance, some stuff with relationships. The camera that I have now is based off of the camera that he had, back
Mm.
then. So this camera is a little bit older, but I got this camera based on feedback that came from him. So um, when I'm on these spaces, man, a lot of time for the ones who have been around long before talking about women kind of took this space over. For the ones who have been around, they know that they've kind of seen me kind of in and out and move through the spaces. Some people I've met off of YouTube, and that's always fun. But I've spent a lot of money supporting men, man, um, and I'll continue to do so because that's actually where I started. And for the longest, I wouldn't show my face. I was like, man, I'll just fund the movement. But O'Shea was like, "Hey man, you need to create a channel. Hey man, you need to create a channel." I thought about putting my one of my interviews with him up, but we've sat down and had conversations, on and off of YouTube. Hell of a guy, but definitely a void was left with Kevin's passing, and unfortunately, in that race to get some of his subscribers, you had people who are really just chasing the money, and they'll do any and everything to have a successful channel it may generate money, but it's really not helping to move what his message was.
Right. That was actually one of the reasons why I called into one particular person's show. Was I
Yeah.
called in for accountability, but I also called in to get a reaction that I knew I was going to get.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I knew she was going to get off her square. It was just I can see these kind of traits in people,
Mhm.
and that's why I did what I did. And I just
Yeah.
felt that she just wasn't being genuine, and I'm like, she's stealing the guy's format, even though they're friends.
Mhm.
I was like, you know what, her audience needs to see the real um the real Medusa King. I'm not gonna say her real name. All right, but
Yeah.
yeah, but outside of that, what's really pathetic, and I know they are not them, but outside of them, it's Austin's critics.
Mhm.
You got 2 guys that are probably more than twice his age, old enough to be his dad, and they're making hit pieces on him. Oh, and you got one guy that's, going on live, going on to, a female content creators live, who's part of the manosphere, and
Mhm.
just, slick talking on Austin. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is just some example of elder lessons attitude. And
Yep.
it's I can't say what's more pathetic when you got 2 guys that are approaching Medicare age. Well, I don't know. One's about probably 10 years off, but just
Yeah.
making hit, and not only hit pieces, but making these foul ass thumbnails on the guy.
Yeah.
Made one about me too, but whatever. Made one about me, made one about Rilla. And the thing is, when I see the movement of, the Passport Bro movement,
Mhm.
in a way, it's like it's the real MGTOW when you think
Yeah.
about it. They are truly going their own way. It's just in a different way. They're going out of the way, actually,
Yep.
when you really think about it,
Yep.
because with the state of the American women,
Mhm.
you see less feminine, more masculine. And now, do high value women exist in the US? Yes. But even what does that even mean these days?
Yeah.
It's like, but you really, really have to look into a haystack for a needle. And then if you get the needle, you better hope that needle isn't poisonous. You know, I think what is it? Every high school student
Mhm.
that's just coming out, and I'm sure a lot of them are starting to get information from Tate, information from, I would even say the passport movement. I think a lot of them should just start thinking about, taking action right away, learn as much as they can, get the full-time job, maybe possibly join the service now,
Yep.
just for their own personal benefit. Just join the service, knock the 4 years out of the way, save as much as you can, and then just get your pass. And then, you should already have your passport by then, and then just start making the plan to get out of the matrix.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I said it a little bit earlier in the stream. I don't know if you was here, but I couldn't see myself seeing someone who's a content creator put their perspective out, and it's not like the guy is it's not like Austin is out um spreading hate, right?
mm,
He's saying this is my experience, this is what I'm doing. So I couldn't see myself coming out as a grown ass man. I'm 39, as a grown ass man, bro, looking at this young brother and saying, I'm gonna create some thumbnails um to that will probably get clicked. At the end of the day, I think that's what it boils down to, is just getting clicks. One of the reasons why I don't um make content about other content creators or even a lot of celebrities, because I know they have fans, is and I'm not some Billy badass and nothing like that, bro. I mean, like we've been talking about, I work in senior leadership. I have a legit career. I've been doing it for a long time. I have a really good trajectory, but I worry that you're gonna actually have to prove it to somebody. Like, to prove it to somebody, like, bro, YouTube really ain't as sweet as you think it is. You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
And
mhm.
that's the part of myself where obviously I need to be more disciplined. But going back to the programming is like, bro, where I'm from, if you're gonna talk about somebody, you gotta really, really mean it. You know what I'm saying? Like, mean
Mhm,
it to the point to where you are willing to fight that person.
mhm.
Otherwise, just leave them alone. So that's one of the things that I struggle with when it comes to YouTube is um, when I see people do that kind of stuff. I'm like, bro, do you just feel like you safe and you can just do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can just really try to destroy somebody's life on a public platform um, at the expense of getting some clicks and some views and trying to get some money, bro. Because for those of us um, who are really trying to make a difference, and everybody has their own way of doing it, right? But I always
Right.
think about, does it add value? And going against Austin for what he's doing, that's not adding value. He's adding value because
Mhm,
he's literally documenting and giving men giving men a blueprint on, hey, this is how you do it.
mhm.
But to just try and make fun of the guy and go after him, bro, for the sake of making content or for the sake of getting clicks and views, bro, it is I can't respect it. You know what I'm saying? I can't
Right.
respect it at all.
No, right. And I agree with everything that you said so far. And the one thing I do believe in calling out, if you are going to criticize someone, is to call them out on a lack of accountability or a lack of ownership or lack of um, being responsible or spreading misinformation. That's the one thing I do believe in. If you're going to call someone out, to call someone out on that. But
Right.
if you're doing it to beef with someone or something like that, you're pretty much taking drill music and putting it on YouTube, and trying
Right.
to live that type of life, and that's just, we already know where that
Exactly.
ends up.
Exactly, bro. I've seen a content creator, bro, that's from my city,
Mhm.
just do some egregious shit, bro. And his channel blew up. He has a
Mm.
huge channel. Um, he does it full time, but as the saying goes, um, how you finish is how you start. You know what I'm saying? Or how you start is how you finish.
Mm.
And it's
Mm.
just, I'm like, bro, this is not content, bro. This is just trash. You know what I'm saying? And it's trash that oftentimes it involves like tragic situations. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I'm like, bro, and it has like blatant lies. it's just trash content, bro. And I'm like, man, it's sad, bro. It's sad, but it is truly what the internet is, where the people who want to add value will figure out a way to use this tool, which is the internet, to add value. And the ones who don't have any value to add will use it to be destructive. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And that's actually one of the things I respected about Austin.
Mm.
I do feel like he is a student of Kevin Samuels, but he flipped the script though. He didn't completely follow Kevin's work. He learned from it, but he wrote his own playbook. You know,
Yeah,
were there passport bros before Austin? Yes, but were they doing red pill? But were they doing the red pill content that he was doing?
yeah,
Some were, but were they? But did people really know who they were? You
right,
know, were they
right,
part? Yeah, you know, when the Manosphere started to get traction, did people know who they were? You know,
right,
no disrespect to Charles Tyler, you know, the late Charles Tyler, but I
right.
don't think a lot of people really knew who he was unless you were, you know, in that travel space
Yeah,
and somewhat red pill aware. But for the guys that are now coming, now that you know, Kevin Samuels made it popular, and then it's still popular after he left.
mhm,
Um, that's when now it became mainstream. Now you're starting to hear about it in news. Now you're starting to hear about it in international politics. I think there was a Canadian conservative that used some type of manosphere quote. I forgot what it was, but it made the liberal. I hate talking. I'm not a politics guy, but it made, and I'm not too familiar with Canada's politics, but
mhm,
it made them lose their composure and got too much into their feelings just
yeah,
because he said one particular word that resonated with the manosphere. I forgot what the quote was, but he said it, you know, and hashtagged it in his, I think it was in his Twitter, and
mhm,
right away, oh, we're toxic, we're misogynistic, or you know, that kind of stuff. And I'm just like, this is just projection and gaslighting. And
yep,
this is why I'm like, you know what? Austin is winning. He's getting away from all this crap that he does not deserve to receive, you know,
yeah,
not just from American women, but even American society in general, because you have simp enforcers, you know, also coming after him on behalf of American women that they simp for.
yeah,
So no, he's winning for sure. You know, will he go through some growing pains? Yes. You know, because he's
mhm,
only 23,
right,
but I think he's winning so far, and he's doing a lot better. You know, for his, I'll even say he surprised me. You know, at the age he is, to
yeah,
how well he's doing, and he looks pretty happy with what he's doing. And it's awesome that he linked up with Vibing with Fred.
yeah, yeah, man. I'm happy for him. We were supposed to have an interview lined up maybe like a month ago, but
Hmm.
I saw that he was really grinding it out, and really doing a lot of collabs and stuff like that. And I was like, man, let me get out of his way, because at the end of the day, I want him to be successful.
Mhm.
Get out of his way, and if he spins a block and come back and say, hey man, we're supposed to do that interview, cool. If he doesn't, then more power to him. That's not something that I take personal, because at the end of the day, um, I'm proud of what he has accomplished, like you said, as a 23-year-old, bro. When I was 23, I was hell on wheels, bro. I was all over the place. I was all over the place. So when it comes to him, I'm super proud of him for what he's been able to accomplish, and I think that it shows a lot of these young men, man. They're like, hey, bro, if you really take it serious, right, and you have a plan and you work your plan, it's possible, especially in an environment now where it's so PC. I think it's important
Right.
for a lot of the younger guys to see, like, hey man, he did it. I think I can do it too. You know what I mean?
Oh,
And
definitely. And I
yeah,
want to help you out too. So I said in the chat a while ago, you know, check out the Enlightened Western Men on. So it's Austin's Facebook group.
yep,
Yeah, so you can post your live,
yep,
and I'm one of the mods, so I can approve posts. But
cool,
I'm gonna also ask him maybe just to pre-approve you as a poster, so that when you
Yep.
post, you don't have to wait for approval. I approve as fast as I can, but
Yep.
I'm not always gonna, be on Facebook 24/7
Right.
and be like, oh, I'm gonna approve, because there's a lot of people trying to join the group,
Yeah.
and there's some people that I gotta block or decline,
Yep.
and stuff like that. But yeah, no, if you join and then you post, and
Yeah.
you get that on real time. I even went on Discord and I said, hey, he's going live. I forgot to put down that I was going to go on there. you know, so yeah. So I want to help you out with that. So yeah, check out, it's called the Enlightened Western Men on it's
I think
also,
I'm in there already, if I'm not
are you on
mistaken.
there? I
Yeah.
did a search for your name in there and I didn't see your name.
Yeah, it's Aftermath Swahili.
Oh, so you are on there. Okay.
Yeah,
I was looking for your I was looking for your government. Well, I don't know if that's your government name, but I was looking for your government name and I was like, I don't see him. Then I tried
yeah.
typing in your YouTube name and I was like, I don't see it. So that's why I put it in the chat. I was like, yeah, check. Are you also in the Discord as well?
So I'm not on the Discord.
Okay. I can at least send that to you.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, shoot it to me, man.
Yeah.
Like I always say, I think my email is on my YouTube channel, but it's turnerwrenchturner@gmail.com. Or like I said, on Facebook, it's Aftermath Swahili. But
So
yeah,
I'll send
bro.
you. Okay.
I'm
I was
sorry,
gonna
go
say
ahead.
I'll send you the invite on
Okay.
Discord here.
Okay. And I'll be sure to get on there. But yeah, man, even until I start to move around a lot more internationally, I think that, at the end of the day, for those of us who are able to, um, we should absolutely be supporting the brothers who decide to go that route, whether it's super chatting during the live streams, whether it is watching the content. There are times when Austin will post a video, even if I'm not able to watch it, I'll open it up and then break off and go do whatever it is just so they can get the watch hours. You know what I'm saying? But I think that is the way that that we support each other, especially for those who are like big content creators, to make sure that they are, especially when they're adding value too, to make sure that they are able to maximize on no different than like Fight Club, right? When they
Oh
was like,
yeah.
yeah, bring him down. I'm like if you notice, I was quick with it. A lot of times, bro, I already have my hot $20 ready. I'm like, no, we're not doing that. And I think if we set that precedent across the space, whenever one of the passport bros pop up, whenever the red pill guys pop up, or whenever those of us who had an opportunity to moderate for Kevin, whenever we pop up, I think it's important to go ahead and set that precedent early. That way, people are like, okay, all right. Well, we kind of know they're gonna stick together. We might as well just, let it ride. But I believe in, like I said, you probably didn't know that you had that kind of support behind the scenes, but I do that shit all the time, bro. Because I don't want people to think, that, bro, we're guys who have a legit purpose. And in real life, we have legit careers, and we are going to support those who especially put their face out here, like you said, guy making making a channel about you. We're going to support the brothers who put their face out here to take all of this shit that comes with putting our face on camera. We're going to support them where it counts, right? So
Right.
that's that was one of the things. Soon as I saw that pop up where they was like, get him out of here, I was like, nope, he's staying. And if you noticed, once people had an opportunity to listen, they was like, oh, he really got something to say. I'm like, yeah, motherfucker, if y'all stop, you get off the bullshit long enough, you'll see that he actually has a good mind, and he's a thinking man. He actually has something to say that's worth hearing. You know what I'm saying? So those are the things that I try to push. I get flack for it. Oh man, why you man, y'all love people that's not black. I be like, bro, shut up, bro. Like the world is, the world. And I was raised as somebody in an Afrocentric environment, but I also was raised that right is right, is wrong is wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So.
But I gotta say, with Daniels, that is an awesome format. I've only seen a couple of it, so I really wasn't aware of how it worked, and I pretty much jumped on it because I saw Fatty on there. I'm like, oh, that guy looks familiar, and then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna see what I can say. I'm gonna see, I'm gonna see him. I'm gonna
Yeah,
confront him.
yeah,
And then I'm also gonna expose him like Marty did about not having receipts.
yeah,
And I was like, and I'm gonna enjoy it. But man, I
yeah.
think I stayed on there too long because the one guy I was not prepared for, and this guy, man,
Mhm.
he calls himself the patriarchy.
Oh
That
yeah,
guy,
Patriarch is good. He's
holy
good.
crap.
That
Um,
dude is laser sharp, man. He's a graduate of Howard University, political science major. Um, he's good.
He is, like, because I did want to confront, but I went about it the wrong way because I didn't understand. I did not understand the meaning, or at least
Mhm.
his point of view of a colorist. I just
Mhm.
thought maybe his idea was it, and I didn't think about it. I allowed him to dictate the conversation. I was like, and I knew that's where I lost. But what I should have said was that I thought that him being, I can't even believe he admits this, that him being a colorist was that he felt that he was more like, he has more of that Hasidity vibe where I'm better than people that are a darker shade than me. But I
Mm.
think with him, I think it's just more for his procreation prospect, I guess. And he just wants someone that either look like him or look lighter than him. And I didn't think about it at that time. I just thought that he had the aura that he was better because of that. But he didn't show that. And, and I should have just saw that. But man, he is, yeah, Cortez. That's exactly, it's that guy.
Yeah, him and that high pitched mic. I've been over on his channel a few times, man, and it wasn't a packed house or nothing like that. But the guy's super smart, and you can tell that he's sharp as a whip. Um, entertaining as all get out, but he reminds me of a guy that I went to school with. And this guy used to get the shit kicked out of him. I mean, he had no fear. He would say what he was gonna say, and they would kick the hell out of him. And he would come back the next day, say it again, and they would still kick the hell out of him. But he's one of those people who, definitely if he tweaked his approach, his channel would take off because he's smart as hell. But I don't think he really cares about growing the channel. I think he's just like, hey, I'm gonna get this shit out of my system and somebody's gonna listen. So shout out to Patriarchy Strikes Back with that damn high pitched microphone that he got. But the dude is super smart. And in this endeavor that is making sure that men have a voice, everyone is needed. So I think there's a space for him here too. He just has to kind of find his way and figure out how he's going to do it. Do you ever watch the Millionaire Morning Show that Anton does,
Mhm,
where
mhm.
he talks more about finance and stuff like
Yeah.
that? I love watching that kind of content. Fight Club, I watch it because that's the only thing that's on the weekends, that in the middle of the night, real late. Um, and every now and then, you have some stuff that is so funny it'll have your damn sides hurting. But I prefer the Millionaire Morning Show
Mhm.
versus Fight Club, but I do watch Fight Club and try to super chat and stuff like that. Because every now and then you get to a point where you do have some meaningful conversations on there.
Yeah, I watch Fight Club more for the entertainment. I don't watch it
Yeah,
as much like when I'm not on the panel. I've been on the panel maybe I think three times.
yeah,
Um, I don't watch it when I'm not on there. Maybe depending on the topic, but
mhm.
11 hours, I just can't. I can't see how people can stay on for that long. I'm still kicking myself for wasting at least 4 hours on my first appearance there. Will I ever get back on there? Maybe it would just have to, something would have to galvanize me.
Yeah,
It depends who's on the panel.
yep,
I like Angry Man.
yeah,
I don't agree with everything he says, but he's a cool dude.
yeah,
Um, I like Aaron O, but I think Aaron O says the type of things to get a reaction out of the chat.
Yep.
But I agree with a lot of what he says and
Yeah.
everything. You know, I'm starting to understand the mannerisms of the panel. There's a couple people. I can't believe they're on there, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. And I know the chat definitely got in their feelings when I got into the topic of attractive women.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if they got everything that I said. Like, I hope they didn't think that I said one particular one was better.
Yeah.
What I tried to do is I tried to not completely change the subject, but make them really think about it outside of the paradigm that they were thinking about, and be
Mm,
like, you know, a lot of Brads, a lot of, you know, people that are not black, they like women regardless of of what race they are,
mhm.
with real hair. They don't like
Yeah.
them wearing wigs, extensions, you
Yep.
know, those kind of things. That's just how that's, you know, I think the same way. But I
Yep.
know the chat didn't like when I said that.
Oh yeah. I think as smart as Anton is, man, I think that he knows. I think he knows some stuff is going to trigger the chat because at the end of the day, and I've learned this, growing in leadership, um, is to really try and get to, like, as fast as I can hear you speaking the words, try and
Mhm.
get to the root of what it is that you're trying to say. And I think a lot of times there's actually a monetary value in people getting lost in the sauce rather than getting to the root. So I
Right.
think that Anton knows that. And I think that when situations like that happen, he probably immediately knew what you were talking about. I immediately knew what you were talking about. Some people in the chat immediately knew, but the vast majority, um, it was enough to trigger them um, to kind of go off. So that's the part of YouTube that even understanding that it's
Mhm.
not how like I don't want to trigger the chat in my live streams. I would prefer this to be a I prefer it to be a almost like a almost like a think tank where we just
Mm.
bounce ideas off of each other and because I'll definitely be reaching out about that insurance too because I want
Mm.
to learn
Yeah.
about that. They say you have to have a certain. Now, answer me this: is there a certain amount that you have to start it with? So just say you have to start it with 10 grand, 20 grand, or something
Mm-mm,
like that.
mm-mm. No, 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 no. So, no, you just think of it like life insurance, like how you do your premiums. So the
Mhm,
way it works, so one of the things that I'm a huge proponent of is an IUL, which stands for Index Universal Life Insurance. And I know I
okay.
briefly talked about it.
Mhm,
So what it is you're taking the index from the stock market.
mhm,
So it also depends what policy you choose to, like if it's nationwide, Transamerica,
mhm.
um, there was a Pack Life, you know, depending on, let's just say for Transamerica, right?
Right.
Um, so you have two options. You can either choose the domestic index, which is the S&P 500,
Mhm,
or you can do the global index, which is a combination of the S&P 500, the Euro Stock 50, and then the Hong Kong Hang Seng. So the way it's set up is that a portion of your monthly payment that you pay is going to go strictly for your premiums, which is going to be going to your life insurance, and then the rest of it, when a portion of it, you know, is also going to go for administrative costs,
mhm.
and then the rest of it, I would say around close, I would say a little over 70%. That is then going to go into the three markets if you decide to choose the global route. If you decide to choose the domestic route, which is the um, then all of the rest of the 70% is going to go into the S&P 500.
Okay.
But what they have is they have something called a cap and a floor. Um, if you go the global route, you're going to have a little bit of a higher cap. So, for example, if you go domestic, your cap is going to be 13.75% growth. If you go with a global, then it goes to 15%.
Okay.
So, I chose the global. So
Okay.
then the global breaks it down to the three markets. So the way it works is that the rest of the 70%, 50% will either go into either the S&P So 50% of the remaining 70% will either go into the S&P or the Euro stock, whichever whichever index performs better. So
Okay.
if the S&P performs better, 50% is going to go into that. If the Euro stock 50 performs better, then in the 50% is going to go into that. Then the 30% is going to go to the lesser performing index between the S&P and the Euro stock. So it'll be either 30% will go into the S&P or 30% will go into the Euro stock. So it's going to be whichever index performs lesser. That's where the 30% is going to go, and then the rest of
Okay.
it that never changes. The 20% is always going to go into the Hong Kong market. I don't know why they do that. It just does that.
Right.
So the benefit of that is that what I talked about was the ceiling, or they call it the cap, and then the floor.
Mhm.
Now, how some people were able to make it out of the 2008 recession was some people invested into an IUL. So let's just say in the S&P 500 index, you got about a 30% growth, which did not happen in 2008. But let's just say you got a 30% growth.
Right.
You're not going to realize that 30% growth. It's going to, if you only got the domestic index, you're only going to get 13.75%. It's not going to go higher than that.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if the growth went 30%, 40%, 50%, you're only going to get a 13.75% return. If it's
Okay.
the global, then it's going to be a 15% return.
Okay.
Now, so that's the cap. Now you got a floor. Some will have a 0% floor. Some will have a 0.75% floor. What that means is it doesn't matter if the index is below 0%, if it's like -10, -20. I think at one point it was -30 in 2008. You're still going to come out ahead depending on what policy you get. You know, either you break even, or you're still going to be ahead with a 0.75% return, because that's the
Gotcha.
floor.
Gotcha. So if someone wanted to get this type of life insurance policy started, they would literally just do the research, find an agent, get it started, and start funding it, right?
No, I wouldn't suggest that they just find an agent
Okay.
just to sell them a policy.
Right.
Um, so an agent worth his or her salt would actually do a FIN number test. It'll be called the Financial Independence Number Test. They're going to
Okay.
educate them on tax-free growth, because that's what an IUL is a tax-free growth. It's very similar to what do they call it? A Roth IRA. It's
Yep.
very similar to that. The only difference is that if you make a certain amount of money, you don't qualify for the Roth IRA.
Yeah.
That was the next. So the IUL is the next best thing. Some people call it the rich man's Roth, with
Yeah.
insurance protection on top of that.
Gotcha. Hey man, Will.
Yep,
Drop
I
some
know
gems.
it's getting late.
You drop some gems, bro. I would definitely, unless YouTube just shadow bans the hell out of this stream, which they probably will for me playing copyrighted music, but hey, you
Wait,
only
have you? Speaking of that, have you thought about linking? I think there's a way you can link or sync. You can sync your YouTube to Rumble,
I have not.
because then,
I've-
yep, it will automatically upload. You can still keep. I think you still keep it here, but it'll automatically upload your video with the copyright music in the background to Rumble, and then you can just make edits for the YouTube and just keep it on the YouTube. And I was going to say, and then for what I understand with Rumble, I know you're not monetized yet because there's a certain minimum.
mhm.
There's not only 1,000 subscriber minimum, but I think there's also a 4,000 watch hour minimum
Yep.
as well. I heard
Yep.
Rumble doesn't do that.
Cool. Hey man, I think I may have to look into it. I know for I have the StreamYard. I guess it's like I pay for StreamYard, even though I really don't use it a whole lot. But I just didn't like that logo being in the top of the in the top of the screen.
I
So
know.
even after I stop the stream, if YouTube shadow bans it, it'll still be I'll still have it on on the StreamYard side. It'll show like a recording that was 2 hours 52 minutes long. So I'll
Right.
still have it to be able to re-upload it. Probably cut the music out if I need to. Um, but
Right.
yeah,
And
hey man, you dropped some gems, bro. I appreciate, as always. I appreciate the support. For the longest, I didn't even know. I didn't put Art of Will and like I always call you Green Pill Will. I didn't put the two together.
oh, it's all good.
Until finally, I was like, hell yeah, bro. I know, dude, man. Yeah, he cool, man. But
Yeah.
but hell yeah, man. Do you have a channel?
No, I don't plan on having a channel yet until I get myself into a remote, either where I remote into a remote position fully,
Yep.
and to where I'm now starting to get in the process of relocating, because I want to make
Gotcha.
sure that I add value. I also want
Yep.
to make sure I don't dox myself. There's already a cornball in one of a content creator, Mr. Palmer. There's a cornball in his chat that's trying to dox me. So not quite yet. That I'm. So yeah, I want to make sure that I'm not dependent on on an international company that I work
Yep.
for,
Right.
and that where I'm like, I don't have to worry about getting canceled because
Yeah.
of something.
Understandably so. But hey, man, I appreciate you. Appreciate the support. As always, like I said, whenever I see you around the space, I'm absolutely gonna make sure I support. Um, and appreciate the gems that you drop. I don't think you realize you drop a lot of information that a lot of guys can go back and listen to. And I may turn them into shorts, right? So that
Mhm.
guys could really grasp what it is that you really just the information that you just gave them. But as always, man, for the few people that are here, I think it's 4 people still left. Been on here I think this is probably my longest stream ever.
Oh wow.
Um, yeah, 254, but I need to work on my watch hours anyway, so it's all good. But hey, brother, appreciate you swinging by as always. Anytime you see me on live, bro, you're more than welcome to come up. Um, and like I said, I appreciate the support and what you've been doing around the space and even on Enlightened Western Men too. So keep doing what you're doing, bro. I'll keep supporting on my end. At least you definitely have a supporter in me. So whether it's on
Thanks.
Facebook or whether it's on YouTube, bro, uh, I'm always back you up because I think that your heart and spirit is in the right place.
I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. And yeah, I'll send you a Facebook Messenger of the Discord link.
Absolutely, absolutely. Hey, brother, you have a good night, and we will absolutely do it again at some point.
All right. You have a happy Thanksgiving.
All right, boss, you too. All right, for those that are still watching, that was the homie Green Pill Will. For those of you who don't know, the Art of Will is definitely one of those guys who supports the movement. Said it with his chest on more than one occasion. And as far as I'm concerned, he definitely has a friend in me. That's all I got for y'all tonight. Big bro gonna catch up with y'all. Y'all be good. Bet.